I say room clock.
Good morning, Sir John.
Good morning, indeed.
Anything gone wrong, Sir John?
Gone wrong? Young man, I was born right here in London. I've been living here at the Savoy Hotel for 15 years. Now, would you mind telling me since when it has become the custom for guests to roller skate up and down the hall at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I'm most awfully sorry, Sir John. We don't know what to do with that Gracie Allen. A bit balmy, you know. We've taken away her bicycle. Oh, dear. Are you there? Room clerk speaking. Yes? Who? Miss Gracie Allen? Yes. Oh, you're leaving for America this afternoon. Very well. I'll send a boy right up for your luggage. Thank you. Bellboy.
Yes, sir.
Go up to Miss Allen's room, 320, and get her luggage. She's leaving for America.
Oh, room clerk, get one of the other bellboys to go up.
Hey?
Every time I go up to her room, she gets angry because I won't give her a tip.
Oh, go on, boy, and hurry.
Oh.
She's really leaving for America? Mr. Sinelli.
Yes?
That girl with the skates. That Gracie Allen. She's leaving for America.
Oh, Miss Douglas.
Yes?
That bonny Gracie Allen is leaving for America.
Oh, Cynthia, darling. Yes? That crazy Gracie Allen is leaving for America. Oh, I'm awfully glad. No. Don't say. She's just coming out of the nest now.
Gracie, before we left home, I told you were the silliest girl in America, but I want to apologize.
Oh, you don't love us anymore.
Now that I've traveled all over Europe, I've changed my mind. You're not the silliest girl in America. You are the silliest girl in the whole world.
Oh, Dodgy Podgy, I bet you tell that to all the girls.
White Owl Cigars presents
Well, Gracie, here we are at the dock. Here, you pay the cabbie and I'll take care of the luggage. Porter!
Yes, sir.
Will you get those bags and follow me?
Yes, sir. The cab fare will be 3 and 6pence, please, miss.
Here's a 20-pound note.
A 20-pound note, miss. Haven't you got any small change?
Oh, yeah, here's some small change, too.
Oh, thank you, miss.
Thank you.
Gracie, come on.
Oh, wait a minute, George. I just want to take one more look at my native land.
Your native land. You were born and raised in America.
Oh, yeah, isn't America wonderful? They raise me, and they raise corn, and they raise wheat, and oh, hooray for America! There's something about a soldier.
Come on, follow the porter.
Walk this way, miss.
Gracie, why are you limping?
Oh, I've got a limp. The porter said walk this way, and this is the way the porter walks. Hippity-hop, hippity-hop.
George Burns, Gracie Allen. I'm the London Times. I like a statement. What do you think of the British Empire?
Empire? Well, we don't know, mister. We haven't seen any of your baseball games, but maybe George...
Gracie, the man means empire, not umpire.
Well, that isn't my fault if he has an impediment in his speech.
Oh, you see, Miss Allen, we don't play baseball here in England. Our big game is cricket.
Well, I'm certainly glad we didn't go big game hunting.
Big game hunting?
Well, imagine shooting a little cricket with a great big gun.
Listen, the kind of cricket...
Yeah, I know. You don't even need a great big gun to shoot a cricket. You just lie in the thicket and you see a cricket and you're cricket.
Goodbye and good luck.
Oh, tip-tip, chitty-o, toodaloo, 23 skidoo, and you said something when you said dicty. Hey, hey.
Gracie, it's a matter of days before you'll finish up in a nut factory.
Oh, George, how much are they paying an hour now?
20 cents.
Oh, there's another silly man. He's hiring all aboard. And we know they're not all aboard because we're not on the boat yet.
Steady up there.
Oh, look, George. Look at that big train pulling that automobile up over the water. Well, they certainly do things backward here in England. Now, in America, we put the water in the automobile. And here they put the automobile in the water.
Gracie, they're not putting the automobile in the water.
Oh, no?
They're putting it on the boat. Somebody is taking their automobile to America.
Well, that certainly is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Well, yeah, that certainly is ridiculous. Imagine trying to drive an automobile to America. Oh, you wouldn't catch me driving a car across the ocean unless I was sure the tires didn't leak. And then another
Well, all
thing.
right, don't worry about it. If you did drive an automobile across the ocean, about every mile, you would probably find a service station.
Oh, well, I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is there's no hot dog stand.
Hot dog stand?
Yeah, my dog Herman loves hot dogs. And I love my dog Herman. And, George, if you love somebody and that somebody loves hot dogs, you'll drive farther for a hot dog than you would for a service station. Or would you?
Gracie, your dog Herman is not with us.
Oh, well, then let's take a boat.
Yeah, let's take the boat.
Sorry, madam, but you'll have to hurry because this boat goes to America in 5 minutes.
Oh, now that's what I call speed. A big boat like this going to America in 5 minutes. That's a
Come on, Gracie, there's the whistle.
Well, all I can say is it's a pretty terrible whistle. I can't even tell what food it's whistling.
It's whistling for passengers.
Well, that's a funny way to get passengers. Why don't they advertise in the newspapers like the other steamship lines? Let them keep on whistling for passengers that way, and they'll finish up by selling peanuts. You said it.
I said it. I didn't say anything.
Well, then talk a little louder. I can hardly hear you.
Come on, hurry up and run up the gangplank. Oh, boy, well, we finally made it. Gracie, look, they're taking in the gangplank. I guess everybody is aboard.
Oh, well, then I better tell the captain, huh? Hey, Captain! All aboard!
Quiet. Quiet. Well, Gracie, now we're safe on board. Let me have my money back.
What money?
What money? I gave you 40 pounds to hold for
Oh,
me.
yes. Well, I gave the taxi driver 20 pounds. I've got 20 pounds left.
20 pounds?
Yeah.
Gracie, 20 pounds is $100. You gave the taxi driver $100.
Yeah, and some change, too.
Change, too. Gracie, while you're at it, why don't you throw the other $100 overboard?
Oh, well, George, I think it's a silly thing to do, but it's your money, so here goes. Whee!
Someplace, there must be someone who could do something to stop the silly chatter that goes on for days and days and Gracie, isn't this a perfect night to be walking around on deck?
Oh, yes, George, a beautiful boat, a full moon, and the stars, and the calm of the ocean. Oh, I could get romantic if I only had somebody to miss. And really, George, there's nobody in the world I'd rather miss than you.
Thanks. It's little things like that that make me the happiest boy in the world.
Oh, Georgie, will you do me a favor? As we're walking around the deck, will you take deep breaths for my daddy?
Take deep breaths for your daddy?
Yes, because the doctor said Daddy needs the sea air. It'll do him a world of good, but he couldn't afford to take this big trip, you know.
Well, all right. If you'll just keep quiet, I'll take deep breaths for your daddy.
But you'll have to walk slower. You know, Daddy can't walk fast.
But, Gracie, supposing I get seasick.
Well, then you can do that for my brother. It'll do him a world of good.
I hope so.
Good evening. We're both headed for America. See you again next time round the deck. Oh, she's awfully silly. We're both headed for America, and she's walking in one direction, and we're walking in another.
Gracie, I'm still taking deep breaths for your daddy.
Oh, thanks, Pop. You're looking better already.
Gracie, why don't you walk along the edge of the boat? You might get sleepy and drop off, I hope.
Oh, a moonlight night and these compliments. If I didn't know you, I'd think you were a gigolo. Georgie, would you like to kiss my little hand, madame?
A little later.
Say, mister, stop pushing that little poodle around on a wooden leash.
Gracie, that's a sailor. He's mopping the deck. That's not a poodle.
Oh, I mean the poodle of water that he's pushing around.
Oh, well.
Good evening, sir.
Kind of busy, eh, sailor?
Oui, monsieur. I will be working all night tonight. I will probably use up 4 or 5 mops.
Say, sailor, I know a mop you won't use up. That's Mae West mop.
Mae West mop?
Yeah, why don't you come up and see me sometime?
Come on, Gracie.
Oh, that certainly was an old-fashioned sailor. He wore bell-bottom pants.
Gracie, do me a favor and do very little talking. Here comes the captain of the ship.
Oh, where? Oh, do I need to... Oh, I'm dying to meet him. You know, I heard somebody say today the captain was forward. And with a forward captain and a moonlight night, he might kiss my little hand, madame, huh?
Good evening, Mr. Burns. Good evening, Miss Allen.
Good evening.
Hello, Captain. You've certainly got a lovely boat.
Oh, but yes, the Ile de France is a fine boat.
Oh, looky, the Ile de France have puppies.
Puppies?
They're hanging alongside of the rail. And their ears are sticking out.
Gracie, those are not puppies. Those are lifeboats.
Oh, Miss Allen, those are not ears. They are oars. There are 24 oars in every boat.
Well, that's nothing. There's 24 oars in every day, and I'm not worrying about that either.
Yeah, Gracie, excepting February, which has 28.
Oh, that was very funny, George. Go ahead, Captain. Now it's your turn to talk.
Look, Captain, don't mind her. The moon has been beating down on her head for the last 2 hours.
Oh?
Say, Captain, what is that way out there? A sailboat?
No. That is an iceberg.
Look at how high the thing is rising.
Oh, I heard that on the radio, the rise of the iceberg. Hey, Molly, how is Mrs. Bloom?
Quiet. Come on, Captain. Well, come on, Gracie. Captain, we'll see you later.
No. If you do not mind, I'd like to walk right along with you. I do not want to miss a word of this. 8 o'clock and all is well.
Oh, George, there's big foolish talk. He says the 8 o'clock and all is well.
No, Miss Allen, he means all is well on the boat.
Oh, Captain, he's wrong. All are well on the
All
boat.
right, Gracie. All are well on the boat.
All are not well on the boat. I don't feel so well, and nobody can tell me that fellow who 8 o'clock feels good either. And, Captain, you look kind of sick yourself.
Gracie.
Well, after that, I think we all need a little drink. Let us go into the bar. Some of the passengers are having a little entertainment.
Oh.
Is that good?
Oh.
I will tell you, I have George Burns and Gracie Allen with me. And I saw them a few days ago at the Palladium in London, and if you coax them, maybe they will sing a song.
Thank you very much. Say, boys, do you know Yankee Doodle Blues?
And boys, play the middle part loud, because that's where George always goes flat.
Say, here's a word I want to say.
I'm not as good as Tom.
Say, have you ever been away?
Oh, sent the Rudy Valley.
Have you heard the Mr. Hero USA?
Rich Valley.
When you get that itching in your shoes,
You better try a cough drop.
go to any other land you choose
Keep singing Dixie.
and see how quick you get those Yankee Doodle Blues. I'm singing, there's no land as grand as my land, from California to Manhattan Isle, north, south, that sunny skyline. Oh, I love every mile of playing Yankee Doodle, that melody that keeps ringing in my ears. Yankee Doodle, that's the melody, makes you stand right up and cheer. Homecoming, USA. I'll say I love you, make me lose those Yankee Doodle Blues.
They say that Europe is wonderful with all that ancient junk. Well, it's not as good as Kokomo, and Kokomo is the bunk. I couldn't see or run, and it was covered by a fog. I had to move from Paris, cause I couldn't meet a fog. From there I went to Old Cologne and started on the round. But Old Cologne don't smell as sweet and pretty as it sounds. A Russian Bolsheviki tried to get my sound. And then I wore my welcome out by sliding on the out.
Hello, Miss Liberty, I'll say you're a fair.
And then the customer officer said to me, why did you declare I am
Yankee Doodle, that melody keeps on ringing in my ears.
Red Cross?
Yankee Doodle, that's the melody, makes you stand right up and cheer. Homecoming.
USA's Nightingale, I'll always say, it's my brother again. I love you. Make me lose those Yankee Doodle Blues. Make me lose those Yankee Doodle Blues. Oh, where's Francis?
Gracie, what Joe?
Tall Joe.
Tall Joe?
Yeah, well, that's what happened to him. I've been calling Joe for 10 minutes, George. Now you call Joe.
Listen.
Joe! Hey, Miss, what the heck? Push that man with the umbrella.
Gracie, is that the fellow down there, the tall fellow?
Yeah.
The one with his back to us?
Yeah. Hey, Miss.
Well, all right, Gracie, I'll call him. Joe! Joe! Hey, Joe! Gracie, did you send Joe a cable telling him that we arrived today?
No. Hey, Joe!
Well, wait a minute. Well, then how do you know he's Joe?
I don't know.
Well, what are we hollering about?
Well, I don't know, but everybody else is hollering, and I thought if we didn't holler, it would be embarrassing. Don't you think so? Hey, Joe!
Quiet. Quiet. Well, there's the gangplank. Well, come on, Gracie, let's get off. Just follow me. Just push through the south. Just hold on to my coat here. Well, here we are. Do you see our trunks anyplace?
Pardon me, miss. I'm the United States Customs, ma'am. Are you ready to unpack your trunks?
Well, I never heard such a silly question in my life. I'm not going to unpack until I get home.
Miss, I have to look through your trunk. What's your name?
Well, look through my trunk?
Yes, Gracie. Tell him your name. He looks through your trunk and sees what's in it.
Well, my trunk is locked, but if he can look through my trunk and see what's in it, he certainly ought to be able to guess my name.
Listen.
Oh, that's a good trick, mister. And if you can do it, then I'll show you the one with 2 decks of cards.
Gracie, why don't you do a trick where you stick your little blue hat in the neck of a bottle and don't take it off?
Oh, well, that's one of my old tricks.
Miss, I'd like to see what you brought back from Europe.
Well, you don't have to bother. I didn't bring back anything for you.
Huh?
Imagine that, George. I never met that man in my life, and he thinks I brought him back a present from Europe.
Gracie,
It's
the
all
government only allows you $100.
Oh, well, then why doesn't he give it to me and let me go?
Look, miss, did you buy any gowns from Paris?
Well, of course, several of them.
May I see them, please?
Oh, I know you'll love just one of them. It's a black lace with a low back. Sort of a dance frock. But I wouldn't think of letting you see me in until I get my hair fixed. Have you got a mirror around?
See, the officer isn't interested in seeing how you look in the gowns. All he wants to see are the gowns.
Oh, well, it certainly takes all kinds of people to make a world. Can you imagine a big man like that interested in gowns?
Miss, did you bring back any perfume?
See, what did I tell you, George? He even likes perfume.
Gracie, there's a heavy duty on French perfumes, and if you brought any back, you'll have to pay a tax on it.
Oh, well, in that case, I didn't bring any.
Well, I'm sorry to say, miss, but I smelled Christmas night.
What did you say, George?
He said he smells Christmas night.
Well, if I were in his place, I wouldn't brag about it.
Gracie.
Uh-huh. I see you're wearing a mink coat. Miss, where did that mink come from?
Where did that mink come from? Little mink. Where does the plush coat come from? Little plushes.
Officer, we just located Miss Ellen's trunk. We found it under the war.
Under the what?
War!
Well, you don't have to bark at me. Just talk. I understand you. Why don't you say something to him, George?
Will you keep quiet?
Oh, thanks, my hero.
No, Miss Allen, if you just open your trunk, I'll get you out in no time.
Oh, well, George, this fellow's even better than Houdini. Houdini could only get you out of the trunk when you were in it. But this fellow says he'll open my trunk and get me out in no time, and I'm not even in it. Or am I?
Gracie, will you shut your mouth and open your trunk?
All right, now let's see. Where did I put the key? Oh, it isn't in my bag. It isn't in my pocket. Oh, I know where it is. But, George, you'll have to go and get it for me.
All right. Are you sure you know where it is?
I know just where I put it.
Well, Gracie, where did you leave it?
In the left-hand bureau drawer in that hotel in Paris.
In Paris?
Yeah.
Somewhere, someplace, there must be someone who can do something to stop the silly chatter that goes on for
Next Wednesday at the same time, the makers of Vintage White Owl cigars will bring you another adventure of Gracie with Bobby Dolan and his White Owl Orchestra and George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Taste the difference. Campbell's Tomato Juice presents George Burns with Gracie Allen and Ted Husing and Wilson Watson with Jack Kennard and his famous orchestra. Here are George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Thank you.
Oh, George, isn't it wonderful to be back in New York again? I'm so thrilled that I can hardly speak, and while we were...
Gracie, we've only been away 2 weeks.
Well, I know it, but it's the same old New York.
Yes.
I said to myself this morning as I was riding uptown on the M, I said to myself...
You were riding uptown on the M?
Well, sure, I like the M much better than the subway. So I said to myself...
Gracie, it's not the M, it's the L.
Oh, I know, but I don't like to say L on the radio.
Well, it's kind of nice to be back in New York again.
Oh, yes. I've never had such a welcome home in my life. I was certainly thrilled when I heard those whistles blowing. I never...
They blew whistles for us?
Well, sure, but what I can't understand is we got in at 10, and they didn't blow the whistles until 12 o'clock.
Gracie, those were lunch whistles.
Oh, don't be a silly way, George. You ever heard of eating whistles for lunch?
They're delicious with ketchup.
Now, please.
Oh, yeah. Can't stop me tonight.
No, and my brother, he got so excited that he threw a streetcar right through a plate glass window.
Your brother picked up a streetcar and threw it through a plate glass window?
Yes.
Gracie, do you know how much a streetcar weighs?
Certainly, 3 tons.
3 tons?
Yeah, up ton and down ton.
Up ton and down ton?
Yeah.
But where's the other ton?
Leading the band.
Leading the band. Like that.
Hey, wait, George.
Yes?
For 2 whole weeks while you've been away, I haven't made one single announcement about Campbell's.
Okay.
Not once have I stepped up to the microphone to tell the world the famous Campbell slogan.
I'll tell them about it, Ted.
Oh, thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, Ted Husing says if you're using Campbell's tomato juice, you're using the best Campbell's tomato juice in the world on account of you're using the same tomato juice that Husing is using.
That using is using?
George, I juice got through telling you that.
Oh, you juice got through.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ed, I'll take it for you.
All right.
And I won't have to sell Campbell's tomato juice on a piece of paper. I've got it in my head.
Well, George, if you can't have brains in your head, then I guess Campbell's tomato juice is the next best thing.
Thanks.
Say, Gracie, it's all I can do to control myself whenever you start talking about Campbell's tomato juice.
Well, I'm glad you do control yourself, Ted. That shows that you have the power of mind over tomato.
Mind over tomato. Gracie, did something happen to you when you were a baby?
Yeah, oh, we did. Yes. I weighed 10 pounds when I was born.
Oh, then you were born.
Yes, oh, sure. And the next week I weighed 20 pounds.
20 pounds.
And the following week I weighed 30 pounds. Well, for a while it looked like I was going to grow up to be a Jack Bernard.
A Jack Bernard. Well, I wish you were a Jack Bernard. Then you'd be leading this orchestra instead of bothering me.
Sure, and then Jack wouldn't be leading the orchestra and wouldn't be bothering anybody.
There's something to that. You've got something there, Gracie.
You may not think I'm good, Gracie, but you should see the size of my correspondence.
See it? Well, how can you miss it? It's taking the buttons off your vest.
Let me tell you something. Wait until you see how classy Jack Bernard is going to look next week.
Yeah, I blew myself to a new suit.
You did what?
He says he blew himself to a new suit.
Oh, now that's a good idea, Jack, because it looks like you're going to blow yourself out of the old one.
Using Watson.
Bernard.
Yes.
Here's George and Gracie again.
You know, George, if my brother were as rich as Rockefeller, he'd even be richer than Rockefeller and vice versa.
Well, that's a nice beginning. If your brother were as rich as Rockefeller, he'd even be richer than Rockefeller?
Sure, he'd still be getting his $5 relief money on the side.
That's all right. Well, which brother is that, sir?
My brother Ike.
Ike?
Yeah, well, we call him Ike for short. His whole name is Hitchhike.
Oh, Hitchhike. That's the
Yeah.
fool, the good-looking one. Yeah.
But when he gets in the car with everybody, he goes 50-50 on expenses.
So your brother goes 50-50 on expenses.
Yeah. The motorist supplies the gas and oil, and my brother supplies the air and water.
Well, that's very considerate of your
Yeah,
brother.
well, I think so. And once upon a time, while my brother was...
Once upon a time?
Yeah, once upon a time.
Once again.
While my brother was hitchhiking, he saw a movie star in an automobile.
A movie star?
Yeah.
Well, what did your brother do?
He stuck out his thumb.
He did. And did the movie star give him a ride?
No, he autographed my brother's thumb.
Nice going. Some fun, eh, Gracie?
Oh, that's very good, George. You ought to be in punctures.
In punctures, eh?
George.
Yes?
What is it? Opportunity of a lifetime.
Opportunity?
Oh, Milty, don't take it. My uncle had the same opportunity, and he's doing a lifetime.
Gracie, quiet with your uncle. What is it, man? Look.
Well, James Kling from Paramount is here to look me over.
James Kling?
Yeah, he's a talent scout.
Ah, that's nothing. My daddy's a Boy Scout. He can make a fire with 2 sticks. Yeah.
Well, what was that? Makes the fire with 2 sticks, huh?
Please, Gracie, don't mess this up. I may get a contract out of this if I can make an impression.
Well, what?
Here comes Mr. Kling now.
Oh, Mr. Kling, how do you do?
How do you do?
Mr. Kling, you know Ted Husing.
How do you do?
And George Burns.
How do you do?
And Gracie Allen.
Why, of course.
Well, hello, Mr. Kling. Are you the king of hearts, the king of spades?
A Kling is Kling. Tell me, Mr. Kling, what's new? I hear you're giving Milton Watson a once-over.
Well, I happen to be in town, and it just occurred to me that Mr. Watson might have possibilities.
Nobody's got possibility at all. Well, now, maybe he ate something that didn't agree with him.
Gracie, they're talking business. Mr. Kling, did you hear Milton Watson's song tonight?
Yes, he has a grand voice.
Oh, thanks.
I can't help wondering how Mr. Watson would be if he were playing opposite Loretta Young.
Well, now, look, it all depends on what they'd be playing, Mr. Kling. Now, if they were playing football, I bet Milty could beat her. But he certainly can't play post office, you know what I mean, Milty?
Yeah, he knows what you mean. But stay out of it. Mr. Kling wants to find out if Milton can act.
Yes, especially in romantic parts. Mr. Watson, have you ever had any of these so-called hot lover roles?
Hot lover rolls. Well, I had them for breakfast, and they're delicious.
Well, Gracie, if I had a girl like you, hot lover alone.
That was George Burns, ladies and gentlemen. The telephone number is Brian 9-7000.
Thanks, Gracie.
You see, Mr. Kling, I've never done anything very important in that line. Of course, I've taken a lot of work in dramatics.
Good. What can you do?
Well, I've got Uncle Tom's Cabin in my repertoire.
Oh, yeah? Then Jack Bernard must have the Empire State Building in here.
Please. Miss Allen, wouldn't you like to see Mr. Watson get a chance in a love scene with some beautiful act, Loretta Young?
In a love scene with Loretta Young, I know he wouldn't even have a fighting chance.
Thanks, Gracie.
You're welcome, Milty.
Miss Allen, you at least admit that Mr. Watson is a good singer.
Well, as singers go, what I mean is Milton's low notes are so high that they make his high notes sound low.
What you mean is that you don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you and Mr. Kling don't know what I'm talking about either, so it's 50-50.
I guess so.
Mr. Watson, will you do some short love scene?
Oh, yeah, maybe, and I'll help you.
You'll help me.
Yes.
I'd rather do a love scene with Jack Renard.
Why?
Why, Gracie, will you stay out of this?
Mr. Watson, right now is the time when we can get an audience reaction. Maybe there's some reading or recitation. Do something.
All right, here goes. He goes right along, and the world soon forgives and forgets. Give a girl time.
Let's do another juice line.
Another juice rhyme.
Now is the time. Why?
Yes, fine.
Mercy Dumpty sat in the wall.
Yes.
Humpty Wilkie
Yes.
had a great fall. All the Queen's love scenes are going to use. They won't mean how Mercy Wilkie from Campbell's Tomato Juice finished.
I hope so. You'll be
Watson, Renard.
George, I got a letter from home thanking me for the New Year's present. And they're all worried about you.
worried about
Yes,
me.
I'll read it to you. Dear Gracie. Poor mother can't spell very well. Imagine spelling Gracie C-R-A-Z-Y.
C-R-A-Z-Y. Yes, it was probably a slip of the pen.
Yeah, George. Well, anyhow, it says that Daddy and Daddy
Never mind.
were
Just read the part where they're concerned about me. What were they worried about?
your injury.
Injury?
Yeah.
What kind of injury?
Well, I don't know, but here it is in the letter. It says that, yes. Also received George's little check for New Year's, and I hope he didn't break his arm making it out.
Really nice to know that somebody's worrying about me.
George.
Yes,
Oh,
what is
my,
it?
Milty, when did you get back from Hollywood? You look wonderful. You're as brown as a beret.
Hooray.
Say, George, Mr. Kling didn't leave. He still wants to hear me do a bit of acting.
Well, that's fine, but
He's right in the control room.
He is.
He's going to listen to us. He wants me to do a scene from Rain. A Broadway show, remember?
Well, certainly. That's great, Milton.
Well, here are the scripts. Will you all help me?
We'll be glad to.
We'll do the part where I'm converting Sadie Thompson, and I've lost my head.
Oh, you lost your head? Oh, well, that's all right, Milty. You'll never miss it.
Wait a minute, Milton. Who's going to play Sadie Thompson? Not Gracie, I hope.
Yep. She's the only girl here, so she'll have to play Sadie.
Play Sadie? Oh, I never played it. But if it's like playing a piccolo, I can't play it. And if it's like playing a violin, Jacqueline, I can't play it either.
Well, this is going to be fine. If Gracie is going to play Sadie Thompson, then this won't be Rain. It'll be Custer's Last Pie. Look, what part do you want me to play?
Well, George, you play the old trader who runs the trading post.
Okay.
Ted,
Yeah.
you do the sound effects. It's supposed to be raining all the time.
Oh, well, I'll be glad to, Milton. How about Jack?
Oh, I'm sorry, but there's no part for Jack.
You mean there's no part big enough for that?
Quiet.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, Gracie, look at the script. You're Sadie Thompson, and you're walking up and down your room in a dilemma.
In a dilemma? Oh, I don't like that. Any kind of, I look better in a kimono.
Gracie, you're Sadie Thompson. You've been a bad, wicked woman. A vampire. But you're reformed.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Well, Watson, you better handle it.
All right. Now, the Reverend Davidson, that's me.
Yes?
I've converted you, Gracie.
Yes?
You've given up men,
Yes?
and you're through with liquor. Why, you've even stopped playing that nerve-wracking phonograph.
Oh, was that a nerve-wracking phonograph? Now, I could have sworn it was Jack and I band. I could have.
Will you try to understand? Watson is Reverend Davidson.
Yes, and while I'm persuading you to be a good woman, I myself have fallen for you.
Oh, boy, this is so sudden, Milty. Who'd have thunk it, George?
Watson, director Mr. Kling is waiting.
Oh, yeah, Ted. Are you ready with the sound effect?
Well, I've got the water, but I've got no place to pour it. Say, George, have you got a pan?
No, I haven't got a pan.
You haven't got a pan, George. Well, what do you call that thing between your ears?
That's a birthday cake. That's what that is.
Hey, I've got it. Here it is. Rain.
Rain. Gracie, it says here Sadie Thompson hums while she's waiting for Reverend Davidson to knock on the door. Okay, Ted, knock. Go ahead, Gracie. Ask.
Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Cry, little Sadie Supper. Come in. Hello, Reverend Davidson. I'm asking you, Gracie.
Gracie, the script.
Hello, Sadie. Are we alone?
Well, certainly we're alone, Davy. There's nobody here but you and me and George and Ted using in the audience and Jack Renard. Any strange, George?
Look, Gracie, read the line. Read the line where it says Sadie.
Sadie. Sadie. Sadie.
Yeah, but look, what comes after Sadie?
Reverend Davidson, you nuts about it.
Look, read right here.
Reverend Davidson, I want to tell you won the battle. I'm going straight. George, what does that mean?
You be quiet.
Sadie, stop. Tell me no more, Sadie. It's time you heard a confession from me.
Why, no, you can't say that in front of a lady. But then again, I'm Sadie Thompson, huh? Let's hear it, baby.
Oh, Gracie, your line, your part, your script, your Sadie.
I know, and I'm pretty sure.
Look, will you read right here?
Yeah. So you want to confess to me, baby? Say, are you kidding me or are you drunk? George, I sound like my mother talking to my daddy.
Drunk. That's it, Sadie. I'm drunk with you. Sadie, you've gone to my head like a drug. My brain is going round and around and around.
Will you watch your script? You're spoiling Watson's career. Go ahead, Milton.
Okay. It isn't the rain that's driving you mad, Sadie. It's you. Come to me, Sadie. Closer.
Gosh, I'm glad I'm out of this conglomeration.
Quiet, Jack.
Yeah, maybe he's in the mood for love.
Quiet. Gracie, read this line.
Oh, yeah. Stop, Reverend Davidson. Get away from me. So that's what your face does for you, eh? Are you listening, Mr. Lubitsch?
Sadie Thompson, you can no more stop me than you can stop the rain.
Okay. Ted, he didn't tell you to stop the rain.
Will you all be quiet? Kiss me, Sadie. I'm only flesh.
Oh, baby talk. No, he will keep getting flash.
Mr. Kling, it's terrible, but it's not my fault.
Terrible? Why, it was simply wonderful. Wonderful? I've never heard a man read a line with such sincerity.
Well, congratulations, Jack. That's wonderful.
yours. Put your name right down here, Mr. Jack Renard.
Renard?
The way he read that line, gosh, I'm glad I'm out of this conglomeration. It was beautiful.
Mr. Kling, Jack Renard wasn't even in the play.
I know. That's why he gets the contract.
Oh, let me see the contract, Jack. Isn't it the rat? Congratulate Jack, everybody. He's going to Hollywood to be a stand-in for a load of hay.
A load of hay? Moving.
Gracie's making a popularity survey. She sings, How Do I Rate With You?
Let's cut out all the smart talk and have a heart-to-heart talk on the very timely topic of you and me. You tell me all about yourself. Come on, it's fine. I'll tell you all about myself. I'm nothing too hard. I'm in the social register. I'm in the blue book too. But say, what I want to know is, how do I rate with you? I'm Mrs. Vanderbilt in Dun and Bradstreet too. But say, only one thing matters, how do I rate with you? Trace my family tree back to 51 BC. Say you find a king or two, but what good is the pedigree when you feel blue? My credit to that symphony, and with the grocer too. So babe, won't you tell us, How do I race with you? How would I race with you if I wore one of my little blue hats like the little one I have on tonight, Georgie?
At least would cover your brains a penny.
Oh, suppose I went in for politics. Gracie Allen for senator.
In the state of coma.
Would you get your friends to vote for me, even the janitor?
Yeah, my janitor would sweep you right in.
If I should run for president, I'd get a vote or 2 or 3 or 4, but babe, only one thing matters. How do I race with you? Do you think I'm the part, or am I a total flop? Do I feel you when I talk, or would you rather take a walk? I may be high with Jacqueline and Milky Way. Don't need Milky. But baby, what I want to know is, what's the name of the song, Georgie?
How do I race with you?
That's it, you race out.
Taste the difference. Campbell's Tomato Juice presents
George Burns and Gracie Allen. With Tony Martin and Ken Niles. And Henry King and his music.
And now, here are George and Gracie.
Thank you very much. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Well, Gracie, say hello to everybody.
Hello. Oh, am I excited? I'm getting married. Whee!
Married? Is that so?
Yeah. He called me up on the telephone and he said, he said, honey, will you marry me?
Yes.
And I said, will I marry you? I've been waiting for this for years. I should say I will marry you. Isn't that wonderful? I've never been so excited.
Gracie, who is he? I say, who is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, he hung up.
He hung up?
Yeah, well, maybe he wanted to be the first one to tell us about the good news, huh?
Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Whimsical, jealous, huh, Jimsy?
Gracie, I was just saying to that. Jimmy Newell isn't with us anymore.
What?
Yes, he's making a picture and was called away on location, so we had to leave disposal.
Jimmy Newell isn't on this program anymore.
No.
Why, that's like taking the cream out of your coffee.
I know.
It's like taking the spark plug out of your automobile.
Yeah, but...
Well, that's like taking my uncle out of jail.
Yes.
That's like...
Quiet. I'd like to introduce our new singer.
Why, that's
Quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a young fellow that everybody is talking about. He's been a big success in his first few pictures with 20th Century Fox. And I'm young, he's handsome. Just a minute. And he has a grand voice. I want you to meet Tony Martin.
Thank you very much. Certainly a thrill getting on the Burns and Allen show and meeting everybody. I'd like to be one of the crowd, so I'd appreciate it if you just call me Tony.
Tony. Oh, are you any relation to Tom McCoy?
Don't mind her, Tony. She's upset because she thinks Jimmy Newell walked out on her.
Well, I don't blame you, Gracie. I bet you missed you, Jimsicle Whimsicle.
Whimsical. Whimsical. Nice before.
Yes. He used to be on this program as far back as last Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Whatever became of this program?
There you are, Tony. She's forgotten Jimmy Newell in 1 week.
Gracie,
Yes, Tony.
I hope you don't forget me a week after I'm gone.
Why, Tony, a week after you're gone, I'll be with you, if you know what I mean.
I think he knows what you mean. Ken Niles. Yes? This is Tony Martin.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Tony. And this is Henry King.
Oh, I know, Henry.
Well.
I heard him play the piano before I ever came on this program.
Oh, good. Then he won't be such a shock to you as he was to us.
Yes, it's one happy little family.
Hello, Tony. I saw you in your last picture, and you were swell.
You mean Pigskin Parade?
Pigskin Parade? Well, I didn't know Pigskin Parade. They can hardly walk. How can they parade?
No, Gracie. I mean, pigskins means football.
Yeah, you see, a football is made of pigskin.
What's that?
Hide the pigs outside.
Oh, well, if the pig's outside, bring him in, George. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine.
Gracie.
That was very clever, George.
Clever? I didn't say anything.
Oh, that's when you're clever.
Tony, I saw you in your last picture. That sure was a funny scene between you, Jack Haley, and Alice Faye.
Oh, do you mean that Tony acts in pictures?
Yeah, he plays romantic parts.
Romantic part?
Well, I think you call them romantic parts.
You mean you make love to movie stars, you hug them, and you kiss them?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Well, tell me, Tony, is it a thrill to kiss Clark Gable?
Gracie, Tony Martin is a man.
Well, so is Clark Gable.
Did you ever hear of two men kissing?
My daddy and my uncle,
Your daddy and your uncle kissed?
they kiss my mother and aunt.
Tony Martin never kissed Clark Gable. Did you ever kiss Greta Garbo?
Kiss her, I can't even get her autograph.
I can't either. I've tried myself.
Say, George, why is it? You're in pictures, Tony Martin's in pictures, Clark Gable's in pictures. Nothing happens to me.
Well, maybe you're not the type. Tribe.
Yeah.
I mean tribe.
That's better, yes. Tripe, yes. That clears that up.
I don't know. I'm tall and not hard to look at.
Yeah, and I love your hair, Henry. It's so black and slick.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you like my hair.
Oh, don't mention it. How often do you change your oil?
How often does he change his oil? About every 20 miles.
Oh, please, George. Tony, as long as you're the romantic type, the radio audience won't judge you by your singing, you know. They'll judge you by your kisses.
It's coming.
And Tony, I can tell by one kiss just what type of program a man should be on.
Well, Gracie, this is my first show, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Well, all right, Tony. Then I'll start with the other boys. But I'm going to save the best thing for last. So, Henderson, you're first.
That's an idea, yeah.
First, eh? Well, okay, Gracie. So you can tell by one kiss just what type of program a man should be on.
Yes.
Well, here goes.
Yes. You belong in the hit parade.
Thanks.
Canals next.
All right.
You belong on the Campbell's Tomato Juice program on a kind of I Can Taste the Difference. And now, George Porgy.
Okie dokie.
You belong on Major Bo's amateur program.
Well, that was very nice. Yes, sir, that was Tony Martin singing There's Something in the Air from Banjo on My Knee.
Yeah, Tony, and you were simply grand.
What did I tell you, Tony? Didn't I tell you there was nothing to be nervous about?
Well, Tony, we're glad to have you on this program, and it's all right with me if you haven't kissed Clark Gable.
Oh, sure. George isn't jealous.
Thanks.
Now, Tony, if you wanted to kiss me, I guess there'd be nothing I could do about it.
Well, you could holler for help.
But Tony doesn't look like that kind of a man.
You mean I'm not the kind of a man who would try to kiss you?
Well, no, I mean you're not the kind of a man who would need any help.
Well, Tony Martin has no idea of trying to kiss you.
Now, please, George. Tony Martin knows what his ideas are, I hope.
I don't know what his ideas are, but I want to set you right on one thing. If you ever kiss me, I'll be dead.
That's what I'm afraid of.
That's a nice compliment.
No, Gracie, you don't have to worry about Tony Martin forcing his attentions on you. Yeah, that's right. Jimmy Newell was on this program for 6 months, and he never bothered you.
No, Jimmy Newell never grabbed you in his arms, or never hugged you, or kissed you.
I know he didn't. And why do you think he isn't on this program anymore, Tony?
Well, anything is liable to happen.
Said it. Now comes the surprise.
You mean I'm fired?
No. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day.
Well, that's no surprise. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but I know it, too. That's the surprise.
That's not only a surprise, that's amazing.
So, in honor of Tony Martin and in honor of Thanksgiving, I'm going to dramatize one of my great events in history. I've written a special play about the Pilgrims called The Landing of the Indians.
You mean the landing of the Pilgrims?
No, the landing of the Indians, on account of when the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock, the Indians landed on the Pilgrims.
And, And this is in honor of Tony Martin and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they're my very favorite holidays.
Mine, too.
Now, George, you play the part of Captain Burns, skipper of the Mayflower. And I'm your good wife, Olive Oil.
I see. I'm Captain Burns, and you're my good wife, Olive Oil.
Yeah, on account of because olive oil is good for burns.
I get it. Olive oil, that's pretty hot stuff.
Tony,
Yes?
you're playing the part of the mate.
You mean I'm the captain's mate?
No, you're the captain's wife's mate.
Oh.
Remember what happened to Jimmy Newell?
I'll remember that.
Henry,
Yep.
you're playing the part of an early settler.
What's an early settler?
Anybody who pays his bills before the end of the month.
I see, and I suppose Ken Isles is an Indian.
Oh, don't be silly. Does he look like a foreigner?
A foreigner?
Ken?
Yes.
Mr. Niles.
You can't come in here. There's a broadcast
Mr.
going on.
Niles.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Mr.
Well, wait a
Niles.
minute. What's going on here?
Well, I'm Ned Shaw, the butcher. Mr. Niles told me to bring some turkeys up here. He says he'd like to pick one out. Mr. Niles.
Wait a minute. I told you to come after the broadcast.
Well, certainly, this is no time to try to sell people turkeys right in the middle of a radio show.
Certainly.
There's no time to sell people ducks or fish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even buy a button from you. Take your buttons and get out.
Yeah, well,
Miss, I'm not selling buttons.
Well, what are you selling?
Turkeys.
How much are they?
how much are they?
Yeah.
Well, you know how high turkeys run.
Certainly, they run as high as their hips, and from their hips up, they fly.
Wait a minute. Gracie, are we going to buy turkeys or are we going to do a play?
Well, let's flip the butcher and see.
Flip the butcher. Well, Tony, this whole thing is in your honor.
And don't think that I appreciate it.
What did you say?
I said don't think that I appreciate it.
That's what I thought you said.
Mr. Butcher, there's one thing that always puzzled me. After you cut off a turkey's head, how does he know which end to gobble with?
Ken, this is your butcher, so why don't you play with it?
Oh, and another thing. Does a turkey gobble or does it cluck? Gobble, cluck.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Butcher, is it a thrill to kiss a fellow like Cluck Gobble?
Cluck gobble?
Yes.
Cluck gobble. You people don't want a turkey. What you want is a padded cell. Good night.
Well, he certainly got rid of us easy, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, anywho, getting back to my play at Plymouth Rock, George, you play Captain Burns.
I know. We all know our part. But what are you going to use for Plymouth Rock?
Oh, don't be silly. Use your head.
Henry King will play a medley of Born to Dance.
A medley?
You know what a medley is.
You mean like Tony Martin is madly in love with me?
That's what I mean. All right, Henry.
And now for Gracie's hysterical dramatization, The Landing of the Indians. Cast, Captain of the Mayflower, George Burns. His good wife, Olive Oil, Gracie Allen. An early settler who comes across, Henry King. The captain's mate, Tony Martin. And an Indian, a foreigner, a gentleman, and a scholar, Ken Niles. And now for the play.
Oh, go ahead, Captain Burns. Act. Your ship's in.
Well, here goes for some acting.
Oh, that's very good.
Wait a minute, I didn't start yet.
Oh.
The Mayflower has landed safely. Men, tie her up to the warp.
Tie her up to the what?
Warp!
Somebody throw George a piece of liver.
Ahoy there! Make the boat fast. We'd like to disembark.
Here's some what?
Bark!
Whoop.
Silence!
Captain, behold yon Indians. I cannot leave thy ship without taking my life in my hand.
Oh, Captain, if he's going to take his life in his hands, you'll have to carry the suitcases.
Hast thou gone nuts, the captain of the Mayflower, carrying suitcases?
Well, then, call a redskin.
A redskin? You mean a redcap?
Well, shiver my timbers if it isn't New England. Come, Captain, let's bustle ashore and see what yon two Indians want.
Come, pilgrims, follow thy captain. And when we parley with yon savages, let me do the talking. Do you follow me?
No.
You don't understand me?
Oh, we understand you, Captain. Well, we're not going to follow you. We Puritans can't go into saloons.
Silence, my followers. Here are the Indians. Hello, Chief.
Oh. We Indian chief customs officers. My name Sitting Dawn. My partner name Standing Hop.
Sitting down and standing up? Oh, say, you must be a couple of Indians from the Bronx.
Take him easy, white man. What you got in that valise?
'Tis none of thy business. Who dost thou think thou art?
White man better keep mouth closed and let me see in suitcase.
Oh, Tony, shut your mouth and open the suitcase.
You better be careful, mate.
Yes, or we will take your scalp, police, and murder you.
Scalp, police, murder!
Scalp, police, murder!
What trouble here? Meet my Indian friend, Chief Riding Bull.
Hello, How.
How? Me, Indian ship reporter.
Oh. I see. How Riding Bull, eh? Say, aren't you the butcher that was here a while ago with the turkey?
Well, yeah, but business was bad and I had a couple of feathers left over, so I stuck a feather in my hat and made myself like an Indian.
There. Well, partner, you don't look like an Indian. Well, aside from that, how are you boys doing?
Me very happy. Me got no squawk.
You got no squawk. Oh, him a bachelor.
Yeah, him a bachelor.
Me married, but me got no papoose.
Oh, yes, you have. You got the silliest looking papoose I ever.
Olive oil, have a care. These Indians might be cannibals.
You mean our sponsors?
Oh, yeah, cannibals tomato juice.
I do commercials. Here comes Trunk.
Oh, that's not a trunk. That's our early settler, Henry King. He's only half trunk.
Half trunk.
Henry King, huh? You cannot bring cantaloupe into this country.
Cantaloupe, that's my face.
Henry, don't argue. Take it back and bring them cantaloupe.
Well, Henry. Well, say something, Henry.
Throw him a line. Will somebody throw him a line? Throw him a line.
That's fine. The sound man threw a line on the stage.
Oh, yeah, my line.
Yes.
I will pay duty. Dost thou think my face is a luxury?
Well, it certainly doesn't look like a necessity.
Gracie, instead of your name being olive oil, it should be maple syrup.
Why? On account of I'm so sweet?
No, because you're a refined fat.
I don't get it.
You don't, then.
Lady got 'em statement to make for Indian newspaper.
Well, yes. Mother Goose rhyme.
Double up.
Rhyme. Sing a song of 6 pints. I'm here to introduce you Indian bucks and pretty squaws to Campbell's tomato juice.
That's nice.
It's a swell drink for Thanksgiving. You Redmen are in luck. A squaw can buy a can for her dime or 10 cans for her buck.
10 cans for her buck. Yes, well, that's the finish, huh?
Yes.
Me can't print that for readers.
No,
readers
but you-
think me nuts. Me cultured, me proper.
You what?
Me proper.
Congratulations, boy or girl.
Boy or girl?
Gracie, I thought this play was supposed to be in my honor. I didn't have anything to do.
Oh, yes, you have, Tony. You've got something very important to say right now.
What is it?
Well, you're supposed to ask me what I'm going to do after the broadcast.
Gracie,
Then I say,
Gracie, what's that got to do with the landing of the Pilgrim?
Well, nothing, but if he asks me, it's going to have a lot to do with the landing of Tony Martin, if you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean. All right. Now, Gracie will sing with plenty of money on you. Sing it, Gracie.
La, 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 la.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Taste the difference. Campbell's Tomato Juice presents George Burns'
Gracie Allen. And Niles. And Henry King and his music.
And here are George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I've got the finish that I forgot last week. Get ready, musicians. Oh, I'm certain, honey, that life could be funny. Oh, George, you look funny. I wish... La, 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 I don't know the finish.
Quiet,
La, la, la,
quiet.
la.
For a minute, I thought you wouldn't understand
Oh,
me.
you see?
George,
Yeah?
Ken and I are having a little argument, but we don't seem to be getting any place at all.
Well, why don't you boys ask somebody to settle it who has intelligence, brains, good judgment?
Well, that's a lot to ask of one person, but boys, I'll do my best to settle it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Gracie, maybe you can settle it. Ken and I have been talking about mustaches.
Yes, Gracie, what do you think about raising a mustache?
Well, Ken, I've never given it much thought on account of my skin is too tender.
Well, here we go again.
Oh,
Gotta get that in, yeah.
No, I mean, Gracie, what would you think about me growing a mustache on my face?
Well, if you're going to grow a mustache, that's the place to grow it.
Boys, Gracie will probably finish up by telling you that her granddaddy has whiskers on his feet.
He has.
He has?
Yes.
Your granddaddy has whiskers on his feet?
That's what Grandma said in the letter. She said, Gracie, since you last saw Granddaddy, he has grown 2 feet of whiskers.
2 feet of whiskers. We're talking about mustaches. So I must ask you to remember that.
Oh, you certainly are the one, George.
Yes, I'm really a clip.
I know. You know, if it wasn't for my uncle's mustache, my aunt couldn't tell if he won or lost at the racetrack.
What has your mustache got to do with winning or losing at a racetrack?
Well, when Uncle comes home from the racetrack, if the ends of his mustache are pointing up, then Auntie knows he won.
Well, that's a cute little system.
Yeah. And if the ends of his mustache are pointing down, then Auntie
Auntie
knows he lost.
It's quite interesting.
Yes, I think so. But yesterday when he came home from the racetrack, he had one end pointing up and one end pointing down.
What happened?
He broke even.
He broke even?
Yes.
Say, boys, what caused all this mustache talk anyway?
Well, I went out dancing with a girl last night, and she said I'd look good in a mustache.
Well, Henry, you better raise a beard. You couldn't hide enough of that face with a mustache, could he, Joe?
Quiet. So you tripped the light fantastic last night.
Well, he must have. When Henry dances, he trips everybody. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Well, the girl I danced with last night said I was Grace personified.
He said what?
She said I was Grace personified.
Oh, and you don't look a bit like her.
Henry, who was that girl you were out with last night?
Oh, a swell little blonde. Irene.
How old was she?
25?
How old?
I told you twice. 25.
Twice 25. Oh, she's 50 years old. Well.
Well, 50 years old. Well, Ken, you've met Irene. How old would you say she is?
Oh, about 60.
Stop ribbing, Henry. Henry wants to find girls 70 years old. That's his business.
Yeah, and he finds them, too.
He does,
Well, let me tell you something. If I go out with older women, it's because they have brains. As I said to the girl I was dancing with last night, give me brains.
Oh, a gigolo.
Gigolo? Well, brains are my weakness, too.
Yeah, I know.
Quiet.
Say, George, we're pretty near ready for Tony Martin's song, and he's not here.
He's not here?
No.
What do you mean he's not here?
Well, who does he think he is? He's not here.
He's not here?
He's got a lot of nerve to be late. And he just came on the program, too.
You said it.
Why, we've been on this program for 5 years, and we've never been late.
Certainly.
Who does he think he
People waiting
is?
to hear
Not
the
here.
program,
Well, then when he comes, I'll tell him a thing or three.
A finger, please.
Yes.
Gracie, you mean a finger, too?
I'm madder than that. Who does he think he is?
Gracie, maybe I'd better sing the song tonight.
No, I'm not that man.
Oh, it's
Ken, here comes Tony now.
Oh, I see.
Hello, Ken. Am I terribly late?
Late? Oh, Tony, you're in for it.
Hello, Tony. Boy, is George Burns wild.
Well, I'd better get it over with. Hello, George.
Hello? Say, Martin, what's the idea of coming late when you know that we go on the air at 8:30?
Oh, I was working on a picture till just now. I brought my director with me to prove it.
Yeah?
This
Prove
is Frank.
it. Well, you prove it to Gracie. She'll tell you a thing or three. Gracie, here's Tony.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, hello, Tony. You didn't have to rush over. After all, we've been on this program for 5 years, so what difference does an hour or two make?
That's telling him, Gracie.
Gracie, I want you to meet my director, Frank Mitchell. Frank, this is Gracie Allen.
Well, how do you do, Miss
Now,
Allen?
listen here,
It's
Mr.
indeed a
Mitchell.
pleasure.
Where do you get that stuff coming in late like this? Who do you think you are?
Gracie,
We've been on this program for 5 years.
Gracie, this man is a motion picture director.
Well, ignorance is no excuse.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tony Martin of Fox 20th Century singing It's Love I'm After.
I'm glad you liked my song, George, but really, I'm sorry about being late tonight. You see, I was doing a scene on a bridle path, and I was working with an awfully stubborn horse.
A horse? Well, Tony, that horse got face powder all over your coat.
Tony, it looks like a horse on you.
Hey, Mr. Burns, I'm considered a pretty good picture director, but this broadcasting business is really Greek to me. I wish I knew something about it.
Yeah, Judge wishes he did too, huh, Judge?
Thanks. Don't mind her, Frank. She's not.
Cut. You didn't read that line right, George.
What line?
Well, the last one you said, don't mind her, Frank, she's nuts.
Yeah.
Now, you should have said, don't mind her, Frank, she's nuts.
Yes.
And when you say Frank, she's nuts, that's bad English. You mean Frank, he's nuts.
He's right, George.
You mean it was bad English?
No, I mean Frank, he's nuts.
Well, you brought this on yourself.
Well, I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm certainly getting to be a ham. You might not believe this, but last night I was held up by two men and forgot myself and started directing them.
Oh, I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No, how could he direct anybody when he was so drunk that two men had to hold him up?
Well, Tony, here goes your job.
Mr. Mitchell, answer this.
Yes.
Look at me and my band. We've got youth, we've got talent, we've got sex appeal. Why can't we get into the movies? What do we need to get into the movies?
40 cents apiece.
40 cents apiece, huh?
Mr. King, did you and your band ever make a test?
Oh, sure. Paramount.
Mr. Mitchell, Henry is quite a comedian, too. Henry, will you tell him what you said to Mr. Zucker, the head of Paramount? He's going to kill you.
Well, I was only kidding, George. I've got too much of a sense of humor, I guess. Well, I walked into his office with my agent, Max Selznick, and I said, if I don't get a job, Mr. Zucker, I'll take a Bromo Selznick.
Oh, yes. And he took one, too.
Oh, Henry, you went to the wrong man. Walt Disney is the man who could put you in pictures. Just look what he did for Donald Duck.
Donald Duck.
What have Donald Duck and I got in common?
You both lay eggs.
I say.
Only Donald Duck doesn't lay them in Zuka's office.
Yes. Gracie, when you were a baby, why didn't something happen to you, or did it?
Cut. George, when you read that line, you punched it too hard. Get a laugh, you've got to throw it away.
I see. You want me to get something that the audience will scream at?
Well, then get my granddaddy.
People scream at your granddaddy?
Yeah, on account of his death.
Why don't you have his ears fixed?
Well, why dig him up just for that?
I see your granddaddy is dead.
Cut. George, don't say, I see your granddaddy is dead. Show more interest and say, your granddaddy is dead.
Your granddaddy is dead?
That's right. It's a surprise to you.
Yeah, it was a surprise to my granddaddy, too.
Sort of a shock for the kid, yeah.
Oh, he was,
His granddaddy was 100 years old.
That's the now's the time.
now a centenarian, huh?
No, Gracie doesn't know what a centenarian is.
Oh, certainly I do. It's one of those bugs with 1,000 legs.
Gracie, that's centipede.
Centipede. Oh, baby talk, huh?
A centipede is baby talk?
Yeah, we had a beautiful centipede of roses on our dining room table.
I know, and the roses cost centipede.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts. Cut.
George, you should enunciate more clearly. You should say, the roses cost a cent a piece.
Gracie, maybe...
Cut. George, I know that you're mad, so instead of talking to Gracie, it would be much funnier if you just stood there with your hands in your pockets and glared at her.
Yeah, glare would sound swell on the radio, wouldn't it?
Well, Well, it wouldn't sound good unless you got the right facial expression.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, now let's take it again.
Do I have to stand?
Where Gracie says centipede, and George, don't forget your diction.
No.
Then you say, the roses cost a cent apiece. All right, take it, George.
Well, George, are you asleep? George, why don't you say something?
I can't. I'm glaring at you.
Oh!
Well, that's better.
Yeah.
You know, this is my first experience with radio. I sort of like it. Maybe I found a new field for myself.
Well, Mr. Mitchell, if you found a new field for yourself, why don't you go out there, lie down in it, and close the gate?
That's an idea. Henry King and his orchestra will now play a medley of popular tunes.
Cut. Henry, that isn't the way a great pianist sits down at his piano. Now, first you brush off the keys. Then you pick up your coattail, arch your back, run your hand through your hair, and start to play. Then your audience will expect something great. Now, don't you see what that does to the audience?
Yeah, it builds them up to an awful letdown.
Henry, the music.
You know, George, I've come to the conclusion that all people are more like most people than anybody.
All people are more like most people than anybody?
Mm-hmm. The only difference between everybody is that they're not the same as somebody else. Because if they were, everybody would be too much like nobody. And if that were the case, then lots of people would be much scarcer than a few of them. I hope I made myself clear.
Oh, you do.
I'm glad, because that's a very famous saying.
Famous saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who said it?
I did just now.
Gracie, when you say something, only an imbecile can understand you.
Well, I'm glad I made myself clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess that's because I'm Irish.
Oh, yes?
And all great things are done by the Irish.
Uh-huh.
Now take those famous composers, Gilbert and Sullivan.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
That great watchmaker, Time O'Day.
Time O'Day? I know him very well, yes.
And every time anything new is invented, you see that Irishman's name on it.
An Irishman's name is on every new invention?
Sure, Pat Pending.
Yes. Pat Pending, yes.
Say, George, here comes that director again. You better hide the microphone.
Like to hide the director.
Even the thing we talked into is Irish. Mike Aerophone.
Mike Aerophone. Oh, yes, Mike Aerophone, yes.
Yes.
Gracie, you remind me of that book, Going with the Wind.
You mean on account of on that small type?
No, because you're thick, too.
Yeah. I don't get it.
You don't,
No.
Oh, there you are, Bert.
Yes.
By the way, did you see the picture I just finished called Traffic?
Did you direct that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you ought to be pretty good at directing traffic.
You've got something there, Gracie.
This ought to make good radio. Say, Tony, you know that love scene you did today with Madeline Carroll?
Yes?
Well, I've got the script in my pocket. Now, why don't you do it right here with Gracie Allen?
Oh, give it to me.
The script?
No, Tony Martin.
Oh, Tony Martin. I'd like to see Gracie in a love scene.
You'd like to see me hugging and kissing Tony Martin?
Yes.
Well, I don't blame you. So would I.
Yes.
Give me the script, Mr. Mitchell. Come on, Tony. We can both read from the same one.
I don't need one. I know the script.
Yes, but you don't know me.
Well, we're off.
All right, now we'll start. Quiet, everybody. Roll 'em. Camera. Action.
Oh, Armand. Oh, that's not good.
It's kind of silly.
I love you, Armand. That's better.
That's better.
Yeah. I love you. Oh, wait a minute, Tony. I can't call you Armand.
Why can't you call me Armand?
Oh, well, it sounds like I'm making love to a nut.
Making love to a nut. Yes, it's either that or vice versa.
Yeah.
It is so long since you have seen your Armand. And now you have insulted me.
Oh, I love him.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love what?
Insulted almonds.
Salted almonds.
Cut.
Spicy stuff, you know.
Cut. Gracie, you're trying to square yourself with your lover, so play it a little more dramatic.
Yeah. Oh. Armand, I love you more than life itself. I love you more than anything in this world. Oh, I love you almost as much as my dog.
that's nice. If you made love to your dog the way you're making love to Armand, the dog would probably bite you in the neck.
Oh, sure. He's got more sense than Armand.
I guess so.
Oh, Armand. Oh, Armand. I think you're awfully sweet, Toots.
I think you're awfully sweet, Toots.
Well, yes, I thought I'd use a little French.
A little French?
Yeah, Toots sweet.
Oh, Toots sweet. Oui, oui.
Yeah, we
Oui,
do.
oui, yeah.
I can't stand this much longer, Suzette.
Suzette. Oh, that's my favorite song.
Suzette, I love you.
Suzette knocking at my door. Suzette knocking at my
Quiet.
I can't stand any more sorrow. My cup is running over.
Well, now, Armand, drink out of the saucer.
Cut.
Now take him in your arms now, Gracie.
Well, why did you say that? Armand, I can hardly wait for the day when we'll walk down the aisle, Armand and Armand.
This is the nuts, folks. Oh, Suzette, your caresses bring me pain. You are tearing at my heartstrings.
I do what, Armand?
You pain me with your caresses.
Oh.
You are tearing at my heartstrings.
Oh, I'm sorry I hurt you. I didn't know they were your heartstrings. I thought they were your trousers.
Gracie, you mean suspended.
Watch me, Gracie.
Suspended, Gracie. Suspended.
Well, that's what I said.
Cut. Gracie, now please watch me. I'll show you what I mean. Watch me.
That's right, Mr. Mitchell. Show her how to do it.
All right, Mr. Burns. Now get ready, Tony.
Okay.
Oh, my darling, ever since the first time I met you, you have been the only one in my life.
I, too, love you. You are the only one who has meant anything to me. And I love you with a love that is enduring.
I will never look at anybody else as long as there's a breath of life in me. Well, that's that.
There you are, Gracie. Did you learn anything from that?
Oh, I'll say I did. I've learned that an actor can't even trust his own director.
He can't, eh? Take it, Henry.
The makers of those fine Campbell soups invite you to listen in and laugh with George Burns and Gracie Allen again next Wednesday. Campbell Soup presents
George Burns and Gracie Allen with Tony Martin and Ken Niles and Henry King and his music.
And out tonight, Gracie Allen, I'm afraid, is going to honor the city of New Orleans. So here they are, George and Gracie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Gracie, say how do.
How do, George?
Well, now say something to the boys.
Oh, what do you want me to say to them?
Well, why don't you say something you think the boys would like?
Something the boys would like.
Yeah.
Boys, Gene Harlow.
Oh, thanks, Gracie. Thank you. Now, I think you want to say hello to New Orleans.
Why?
Why? Ken Niles just told the people that you were going to say something about New Orleans.
Oh, don't listen to Ken Niles. That's just gossip. And gossip is nothing but idle rumors. And idle rumors are rumors that can't pay their room rent. And room rent is a thing...
Gracie, are you talking about rumors or rumors?
Rumors are rumors.
Rumors.
Rumors. Say, that reminds me. Why are they making such a fuss over Simone?
Simone?
Yeah.
Well, she has two names that sound exactly alike.
Oh, yeah. What about the three Gracies?
Say, Tony, I need a little help.
George, don't count on me tonight. I'm in the middle of a picture, and talk about hard work. Do you know that from 9 o'clock this morning until 7 o'clock tonight, I've done nothing but kiss Alice Faye?
Well, that's nice work if you can get it.
I don't mean that kissing Alice Faye isn't swell, but it's just work for me during the day and takes all the romance out of me for my date tonight.
And who have you got a date with tonight?
Alice Faye.
Alice Faye, retake, say.
Well, I don't mind mind, Tony. If you've got a date with Alice Faye tonight, you just keep it.
Yeah.
Of course, I was going to ask you to take me home tonight, but I don't expect you to break your date with Alice Faye. But I do want to tell you that our sponsor phoned me, and he said, Gracie, if you're not happy with your new singer, just say the word and we'll get rid of him. That's all.
That's all. Well, Tony, it looks like you're on a spot.
Oh, well, Gracie, I haven't exactly got a date with Alice Faye.
Oh, well, now, far be me fellas to break up any date, Tony.
Far be me from it.
You just keep your date with Alice Faye, especially tonight, while you still got a salary coming in.
Gracie, when did the sponsor phone you?
Oh, you don't have to worry, George. He thinks you're swell.
You're sure he's going to let me stay on the program?
Oh, sure. As a matter of fact, you can even go out with Alice Faye and nothing will happen.
Thanks. Gracie, I have an idea that maybe you like Tony Martin.
You think of the silliest things, George.
Don't I?
Yes. Why, I was out with a very adorable man last night.
Is that so? I suppose it's some relative?
No, not yet. It's Clark Gable.
Not yet? Clark Gable. Well, you were out with Clark Gable last night?
Well, it's better than staying home alone.
I think so.
Well, anyway, here's what happened. I was at a party, minding my own business, and Clark Gable came over, and he said, are you Gracie Allen? And I said, yes. And he said, how about sitting on my lap, Gracie? And I figured he wasn't sitting on it, and I had to sit someplace.
So you sat down on his lap?
Yes, and then my mother hollered. She said, Gracie, get up, get up.
Did you get up?
Oh, yeah, I jumped up, and I had breakfast, and I said to my mother, I said, why did you wake me up, Mama? You spoiled a beautiful dream, I told her.
You said that to your mother? Oh, you dreamt you were out with Clark Gable.
Sure.
Did you ever dream you went out with me?
No, I never have nightmares.
Well, that's a pretty thought.
Gracie, as long as you're dreaming, how about dreaming I'm taking you to the Brown Derby restaurant tonight?
Oh, thanks, Tony, but that place is too crowded.
You can't dream you're going to the Brown Derby restaurant because it's too crowded?
Oh, yeah, I had to stand up in bed 2 hours the other night waiting to get a table.
Well, you ought to make your reservations before you go to bed. Either that or go to bed earlier so that you could get there sooner.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, once I dreamt I was invited to the White House to visit President Roosevelt, but I didn't go.
Why?
Well, I wasn't dressed properly for it.
I see. Well, you ought to go to some exclusive foyer in your dreams and get yourself a fur coat.
Oh, I saw a beautiful mink coat last night that I liked.
Was it a dream?
Oh, I'll say it was a dream, and only $2,500, too.
Well, when you go to sleep tonight, just dream that I bought it for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, Daddy Dempsey got a pearl necklace for me the other night.
Is that so?
Yes, and then the dream cops came and arrested him.
Nice. Took him away in a little dream wagon.
Yes. Oh, and that was about 6 months ago, and Daddy was still dreaming.
In bed, huh?
No, in jail.
In jail. That's your daddy. That's
Gracie, don't you ever dream about me?
Oh, sure, Henry. I dreamt about you last night.
You did?
Mm-hmm. I dreamt I was out dancing with you, but when I woke up, I discovered it was my little nephew pounding my feet with a hammer.
Please, Tony. Come on, Gracie. Well, that was Tony Martin of 20th Century Fox singing The Way You Look Tonight. Well, that was swell, Tony.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, George.
Say, Gracie, we're honoring New Orleans tonight, remember. So far, you haven't said anything about it.
Well, Ken, if you think I haven't said anything about New Orleans so far, just wait till you hear this. Ready, boys? Yeah. Oh, good. Now, honors. A toast to that great, gigantic, colossal, tremendous, lovely, quaint little New Orleans. A salute to New Orleans. It's 3,000 miles from Seattle. It's 3,000 miles from Los Angeles. It's 15 hours from Dallas. It's 16 days from Christmas. And when you hear the time, it will be 16 minutes to 9 o'clock.
Wait a minute. So that's for New Orleans?
Yes, it's too
Quiet.
Gracie, Did you know that New Orleans is one of the healthiest cities in the world?
Oh, not anymore, Tony. I understand people are dying there this year that never died before.
Yes, and people are dying in Boston and Seattle, too.
Yeah, and they aren't anywhere near New Orleans either.
You know, I know one thing.
Yeah, that's very funny, George.
But I haven't seen it.
Oh, yes, you have.
Oh, Gracie, here's a telegram that just came for you.
Thanks. Well, just listen to this. Gracie Allen, pardon my southern accent, but you're nuts. Signed, the mayor of New Orleans. Oh, isn't that cute, George? He hardly knows me either.
That's what you think. Ken, before the people in New Orleans smash their radios, will you say something sensible about the city?
Oh, I'm glad to. New Orleans, which is sometimes called the Crescent City, is the largest seaport in the Gulf of Mexico. I can see it now, surrounded by its fields of cotton.
Oh, Ken, you don't get cotton out of a field.
No?
You get it out of a little blue box with a red cross on it.
Yeah, but where does the cotton come from?
From a drugstore.
You have to raise cotton first.
Our drugstore raises cotton.
Your drugstore raises cotton?
Yes, just raise those little 10-cent packages to 20 cents.
Go ahead, Ken.
New Orleans has...
Wait a minute.
Oh, quiet, everybody. Tony is going to talk. Oh, what is it, Tony?
Well, my great-grandfather owned the first cotton gin in Louisiana.
But Gracie doesn't know what cotton gin is.
Well, my daddy probably does. He drinks anything.
I see. He drinks cotton gin, huh?
Well, sure. When you drink cotton gin, you get a white nose instead of a red nose.
Please, Ken.
And New Orleans has 3 fine universities, Loyola, New Orleans, and Tulane.
Tulane? Well, that's my very favorite saying. It's one of the oldest
Tulane
sayings.
is your favorite saying?
Yes, you know that old saying, it's never too late, Tulane.
It's never too late, Tulane?
Gracie, another telegram.
What a
Talk you've got this week.
Oh, let me read it, Henry. Oh, maybe it's a telegram.
Yes, maybe it's a telegram.
Oh, it is a telegram.
It's a telegram?
My. It's from the grocers of New Orleans. Oh, listen to this. Gracie Allen, when Major Bowes out of New Orleans, we grocers sold 40,000 cans of coffee. Stop. Tonight, with you honoring New Orleans, we grocers sold 80,000 cans of coffee. Well, now that ought to show Major Bowes who's who on the radio.
Sound a bit like an owl. It isn't who's who on the radio. You mean who's through on the radio.
George, we're selling Campbell's chicken soup.
That's what you think.
Oh, I think that's the nicest wire that's ever been sent to me. I wonder what it means.
It means they want us to play a little game where you jump into the Mississippi River and pretend you're swimming, and after you drown, I pretend I'm sorry.
Oh, now why doesn't Tony say things like that to me?
Say that, Tony. Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, thanks. New Orleans has some of the most historical buildings in America.
Well, that's what I hear, too, Ken. Now, I'd like to see those beautiful drapes in the Saratoga Street Jail.
Beautiful drapes in the Saratoga Street Jail?
Well, that's what it said in the guidebook for tourists. It said the Saratoga Street Jail is noted for its hangings.
I suppose your daddy would feel right at home in that jail.
Oh, sure. He'd soon get onto the rope.
Well, that certainly is news to me.
I don't get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Henry King and his orchestra will play Sweetheart, Let's Grow Old Together. Come on, Gracie.
Oh, now wait, Henry. George, I forgot the biggest moment in New Orleans history. I was born in New Orleans not so long ago.
I get it, yes. And how many times have I got to remind you that you were born in San Francisco?
Oh, please, George. For tonight's program, I'm getting $100 to say I was born in New Orleans.
Who's paying you the $100?
San Francisco.
Play, Henry.
Well, I'm a little bit worried. Gracie is standing right here with some more honors for New Orleans.
Well, why worry, Ken? You know things aren't hardly ever as bad as they seem not to be.
Things aren't hardly ever as bad as they seem not to be?
Yes, Judge, and even if they weren't, it wouldn't be anything to worry about unless they were.
Well, that's as clear as the Mississippi mud.
Gracie, another telegram.
Who is it from?
Oh, Western Union or Postal. Who else could it be from?
Read it.
Oh, listen to this, boys. We, the citizens of New Orleans, have been listening to your program honoring our city, and we can hardly wait to hear the finish so we can listen to Freddie Allen. Oh, isn't that nice of George? They even like Freddie Allen, too.
So does Portland Hopper.
Well, I don't blame her. He's sweet enough to kiss.
Who, Freddie Allen?
No, Tony Martin.
Look, Gracie, you don't ask a man for a hug and a kiss.
No?
Nice girls don't do that.
Oh.
Hug and a kiss. Even if you want a hug and a kiss, you've got to be civil. Sort of hint at it so that the audience doesn't understand it.
Oh, a hint.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yes, Gracie.
Tony, if you're tired, you can rest your lips against mine.
Well, that's being subtle.
Listen, Gracie, don't think I'm temperamental. I'd really like to kiss you, but I'm just not in the mood for kissing anybody.
Stop it. We're supposed to be honoring New Orleans.
Oh, now, George, please, that isn't nice. You shouldn't be rude to Tony, especially when this might be his last night on the program. Mm-hmm.
Last night?
Mm-hmm.
Gracie, Tony Martin just came to work on this program.
Well, you better get to work then.
Well, I always thought that whoever I kissed would be my business.
Well, then you better do what I ask you, Tony, if you expect to stay in business, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm sort of catching on.
Gracie, why should Tony Martin kiss you?
Well, that's right, George. Why should he kiss me? After all, who am I compared with Alice Faye?
Yes.
I don't amount to anything. I'm only an insignificant little girl who hires and fires the singers. That's all.
Oh, that's all, Tony. That's all.
Gracie, how about me? I'll kiss you.
Oh, thanks, Henry, but you better kiss George. He hires the orchestra leaders.
Look, Gracie, I don't like to hear you talk, but as long as you're going to talk, say something about New Orleans. I thought I'd remind you.
Oh, all right. Remind me sometime.
I'll remind you now. How about a guest of honor?
Oh, thanks, George, but I just ate.
Oh, I don't know.
Say, I've got an idea. Maybe there's somebody in the audience from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, maybe there's somebody in the audience from New Orleans. That's a great idea. Ken, why do I have to think of everything?
Quiet. Thanks, Ken. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anybody in the audience from New Orleans that would like to come up on the platform as our guest, we'd be delighted.
I'm from New Orleans, mister. Oh, George, step and fetch it.
Step and fetch it. Would you mind stepping up to the microphone, please?
So, no.
So you're from New Orleans, eh?
Yes, sir. I was born and raised in New Orleans, and my mother and father were born there before me. Well, if they're your mother and father, they'd have to be born before you.
Well, will you tell us something about New Orleans? What street were you born on?
Tropatula Street. What street? Tropatula. Tropatula. Stop there, sir.
Gracie, Tropatulus is a very famous thoroughfare.
Oh, it sounds very romantic. If I ever go to New Orleans, I'd like to rent a little rose-covered cottage on how do you say that?
Tropatulus. T-C-H-O-U-P-O-T.
T-C-H-O-U-P. Oh, no. H-O-P-A-double-T.
No. A-S-H-O-P.
No, wait a minute.
T-A-H-O-U-P-O-T. Why don't you move over on Canal Street?
I think so, too.
I don't know your name, miss, but I'm glad you stepped up here this evening. You know, I've always wanted to meet a real Southern belle.
Oh, mister. Tony, why don't you give the bell a ring sometime?
Never mind. Miss, what is the population of New Orleans?
Well, I don't know exactly. Being a river and seaport city, New Orleans has a great floating population. A floating population? Mm-hmm. Well, I'll bet a lot of them can swim on the stomach, too.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
New Orleans makes a lot of friends with its hospitality. It has some very fine restaurants, and, I know you'd love our Mardi Gras. Well, I'll never tasted any, but I just bet it's delicious.
Yes. Shut my zipper.
Well, George, here's another guest of honor that came up from the audience.
Oh, well, this way, please. You talk right...
Do I have to talk right in here, mister?
Yeah, right there.
Well, now, if I do, you just tell me.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, of course, I've never spoken on radio before, and I'm awfully nervous.
I see that.
As a matter of fact, I've never talked before an audience before. I never talk very much at home. I'm kind of a man of few words.
Yeah, a few thousand.
Now, mister.
Yes, sir, I was just coming to that, Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Now, being New Orleans is a seaport and a river city, it has a great floating population. And it makes a lot of friends with its hospitality and has many fine restaurants. And you'll just love our Mardi Gras.
Wait a minute. The little lady here just told us all of that.
Yes, sir, that's where I learned it.
Well, our program is coming to an end, and I want to thank you people very much for coming up here tonight.
Well, if you really want to thank us, Mr. Burns, here's the way I figured out you can do it. When I get back to New Orleans, I'd like to have something to show that I've really been to Hollywood. And I thought maybe you and Miss Allen, could give me something that I could take back home as a souvenir.
Well, mister, how would you like a nice live movie star?
A real live movie star? Mm-hmm. Well, if y'all ain't kidding me, the show would be make me very happy.
Well, it sure would make me very happy, too.
Gracie, what live movie star are you going to give this man that'll make you both so happy?
Alice Faye.
Oh, Alice Faye. Henry, the music. Well, Gracie, say goodnight to everybody.
Oh, no, wait, Judge. I forgot to read them my proverbs.
Proverbs?
Mm-hmm.
You mean proverbs?
Well, I know, but this is a proverb in verse. It's my proverb.
So it's a proverb.
Yes.
Well, let's hear it.
All right, proverbs. Although it's very foolish, I've often heard it said, you can drive a horse to water, but a pencil must be lead.
You've made that up. I
No,
can see
I
that.
didn't. So, girls, don't drive your husband to eat. Let nature take its course. Just give him Campbell's chicken soup, and he'll eat just like a horse. That's New Orleans.
Good night, all.
Campbell's Soup presents George Burns and Gracie Allen with Tony Martin and Ken Niles and Henry King and his music. And here are George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Thank you very much. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Oh, George, come here. Kiss me.
Kiss you?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
George, kiss me.
Oh, all right.
Again.
Again?
You're wonderful. You're adorable. Kiss me again.
Say, I must be pretty good.
Oh, I'm crazy about you, big, strong, adorable boy. Kiss me again. Yeah, all right, George. Break it up. It's no use.
It's no use. What's no use?
Kissing you and trying to make believe it's Tony Martin.
Oh, I say, I get the whole thing.
Listen, Gracie, I wish you'd get over that romantic feeling about me. You see, you and I can never...
George, did I show you the wire I got from the sponsor?
From the sponsor?
Mm-hmm. Now listen to this. It says, Dear Gracie, we like Tony Martin singing very much and will appreciate it if you can see your way clear to keep him on the program.
Gracie, who sent that wire?
Campbell's Chicken Soup.
Well, Tony, it's soup to you.
Oh, please, Judge. So, boys, on account of this might be the last night on this program for Tony, I think we all ought to play a game to show him that we appreciate it. Don't you think so?
I think so, Gracie, yes.
Well, anyhow, it's a sort of a kind of a game that I made up out of my own head.
Oh, block.
Yeah. I don't get it.
You don't get it, huh?
So what's the name of the game, Gracie?
Fun for fools.
Fun for fools?
Yes, I'm sure you boys will enjoy it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, the idea is this. You take any letter in the alphabet and put the word for after it.
The word for after
Yes.
that.
Now, for instance, the letter A.
Yeah.
A4.
A4.
Yeah. And you just make up a sentence with A4.
A4. Mm-hmm. Gracie, this is too complicated. All right, you make up something with A4.
A4.
Yeah.
A4. Oh, yeah. A for body meets the body coming through the rhyme.
Why, that game is a beauty.
Yeah.
So that's it, eh?
And oh, boys, I almost forgot. Anybody that can't make up a sentence when it's his turn has to kiss me.
Oh, now it's coming.
Gracie, I'm not good at games. It looks like I'll have to kiss you.
Well, now, don't worry, Henry. If you or George or Ken get stuck, I'll help you.
What about that fella called Tony Martin? Won't you help him?
Oh, I should say not. I'll have to let him kiss me. He doesn't deserve to be helped.
Well, Tony, I guess you can see the object of the game.
Yeah, I think I get the hang of it.
Mm.
Well, all right, Gracie, make up something with the letter D.
Letter D? Now, you add the word for after.
We know that,
Yeah,
kid.
D. D4.
D4.
Sealskin coast.
Gracie, this isn't a game. This is a nightmare.
Now, Ken, it's your turn. The letter B.
B.
Mhm.
B4.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll just have to kiss you, Gracie.
Oh, now wait, Ken. Where do you live?
I live in Beverly Hills.
You guessed it.
Beverly Hills, he guessed it?
Uh-huh. B for Lee Hill.
B4 Lee Hill?
Now, George, you try the letter X.
X.
Mm-hmm.
X4.
Mm-hmm.
X4 breakfast.
X for breakfast? No.
That was pretty good.
No, that's wrong.
Wrong? What would you do with an X?
Chop wood.
Oh, yeah, chop wood with an X.
Now, Henry.
Yep.
The letter C.
Oh, I'm not good at games, Gracie. I'll just have to give you a kiss.
Oh, now wait, Henry. I didn't lose.
Of course you didn't, Gracie.
Henry, the letter C. Now think. What's the name of the car you drive?
Lincoln.
You guessed it?
Wait a minute. You gave him the letter C.
Yes.
He says Lincoln, and he guessed it?
Yes, C4. A Lincoln C4?
A Lincoln C4?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
And now, Tony.
I'm ready, Gracie. The letter K.
Do you K?
Yeah, this one is on you, Gracie.
Oh, K4.
Yeah.
Oh, K for Francis.
Okay, for answers, the moving picture star.
Yeah. Now, Tony.
Gracie, if you had a brain,
F. The letter F.
F.
F for Vesson?
F for Vesson?
Yeah.
F for Vesson for you, we wouldn't be playing this silly game.
And now, Tony.
I'm ready, Gracie. The letter V.
V? V4. Oh, V for La France.
V for La France?
Yeah.
Good, that's good.
And now, Tony.
I'm ready,
Now,
Gracie.
wait a minute. It's your turn. The letter S.
Oh, the letter S.
Yes.
S4. S4.
S for a kiss, and I'll give it to you.
Tony, you've got to sing your song. Will you give Gracie a kiss? You know, you might like it.
Don't listen to George, Tony. The letter Z. Z4.
V for what?
Z for yourself.
Z for, Tony, your song. Come on. Friends, that was Tony Martin singing I Got You Under My Skin from Born to Dance. Nice work, Tony. That was very good.
Thanks, George. I hope the sponsor and Gracie likes it, too.
Well, Tony, the sponsor doesn't mean a thing. The sponsor even likes George.
But, Gracie, how did you like my song?
Well, it was all right as songs go, but personally, I haven't got much confidence in a man who's always singing about love but never doing anything about it, if you know what I mean.
He knows what you mean. Tony, don't mind Gracie. She's a little bit shy.
Shy?
Yeah, shy of brains.
Thanks, George, and I'm pretty, too.
Yes.
Say, George, what's going on?
I am. I'll see you later.
Oh, wait. Didn't I tell you that tonight we're going to dramatize the life of Pancho Villa, the Mexican bandit?
No.
Oh, well, then I'll tell you.
Good.
Tonight we're going to dramatize the life of Pancho Villa, the Mexican bandit.
Yes.
And, boys, the theme song is going to be For He's a Jolly Good Fella,
He's a Jolly Good Fella. It's tonight's theme song.
Yes, I know it should be Villa, but I had to say Villa out of kind of the
Got the song
song.
in, yes.
Oh, I'd love to do a play about Mexico. You know, that's a romantic spot. I remember how Monday night I'd stand under a palm tree and make love to a girl. Tuesday nights under a pepper tree and make love to a girl.
Wednesday nights under a banyan tree and make love to her, George?
Well, Johnny, don't you know any girls who don't live in trees?
Gracie, did you go to school to become an idiot, or did you just pick it up?
Well, George, I'm no flirt. I never pick up anything.
All right, then, pick up the next cue.
I love Mexico. It's tropical climate, it's tropical fruit, mangoes, nuts.
Listen, Ken, if a mango's nuts, it'll be George Burns.
Oh, please, George.
Hold it, boys, I've got it. Henry, you've got what?
That game of Gracie. Fun for fools. Letter R. R4. Give up?
Yeah.
R4 beat Yale.
Oh, for Henry, the game has been over for a half hour.
Why didn't you tell me? I've been sitting in a corner, and it took me a half hour to dope that out.
Some dope.
Well, getting back to your play, Gracie, I remember reading about Pancho Villa. He was quite elusive, wasn't he?
Well, he was part elusive and part Mexican.
Part elusive and part Mexican? Gracie, do you know the authorities chased him all over Mexico?
George, Mexico.
I know that. It comes later in the play. Anyhow, Pancho Villa tried to escape by hiding in lagoons.
Lagoon?
He hid in the lagoon for 2 months.
Lagoon? That's so. He must have known the bartender, huh?
It's a beer lagoon, yeah. I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
You know, Pancho Villa was a sort of a bandit Casanova on horseback, wasn't he? He used to gallop through a town, grab all the beautiful women.
That reminds me. I better give out the pass, huh? Tony, you're Pancho Villa.
I thought so, yeah.
And I'm all the beautiful girls in town.
Thanks for more for you, eh?
Yeah. In fact, I'm the winner of one Mexican president after another.
If you were their wives, I'll bet they were glad to die.
Oh, well, not only that, George. I was glad to have them a lot of friends by getting married often enough.
A widow of several Mexican presidents.
Carmelita de la Gracie Allen de la Hot Tamale de la Figueroa and Pico.
Well, that's a darn pretty name.
But, Tony, you just called me Carmelita Costa.
Hey!
And, George, you're going to play the part of the president during Villa's time.
Carranza.
Well, stop swearing, George.
Carranza is swearing?
Well, tell him to stop, too.
I'll tell him when he comes in. I'll speak to the kid.
And, Henry, your name is Manuel Labor.
Manual labor.
And, Henry, you're the best boulder caballero in all Mexico.
The best boulder caballero?
George, you see, Boulder is a dam.
Yes.
And you're not allowed to say that on the radio.
see.
So he's the best boulder caballero in all Mexico. And,
Ken, you want it, Ken.
Ken, you're the head of the president's army, and your name is General Don Juan, and 2 to go.
Don Juan and 2 to go.
Yes.
And Ken is my general.
Yes. But in the play, he doesn't feel so good. He's got a stomachache.
What's the matter?
Oh, just things in general.
Things in general.
Yes. Now, Ken, in this play, you stick a knife in George's back.
Oh, well, Gracie, do you think that I could stick a knife in George's back?
Well, you could take a stab at it.
Take a stab. Some switch. I say, I'll get the point. That's the idea.
Well, what are you thinking about, George? He doesn't stop.
He doesn't want to take it again. Woof, woof.
He doesn't charge for stabbing you in the back.
He doesn't charge?
No, he's freelancing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Henry King will play a medley starting off with Let's Put Our Heads Together.
That's right. You and Henry put your heads together and score the nothing for nothing.
Henry, the music.
And now it's time for another one of Gracie's demented dramas, The Life of Pancho Villa.
Gracie, now for your play. Shall I run up the curtain?
Run up a curtain. Well, George, you're playing Carranza, the president, not a squirrel.
Thanks.
Ken, the cast.
The crack cast is as follows. Pancho Tony Villa, bandit badman lover and 20th century fox, Tony Martin. Manual labor, the best boulder caballero in all Mexico, Henry King. General and Chief of the Standing Army, when it isn't running, Ken Niles. The President of Mexico, Carranza, I'm not swearing, folks, George Burns. And Senora Carmelita Gracie Allen. The time, around 8:50. The place, the president's official hideout in the little Mexican town of San for Our Free Booklet. Music.
Oh, my good friend, you have made me president. Quietly, please, quietly. I am very happy to be your president. So now, I accept these.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard the late President of Mexico making his acceptance speech.
Gracie, I thought I was supposed to be the president.
Well, you are, George. You follow the president's acceptance shot, I hope. Now, you read your lines, Surrender.
Oh, well, hold on to your feet, folks. Oh, my lovely little Senora Carmelita de la Gracie Allen, de la Hot Tamale, de la Figueroa, and Chico, I love you. I love you.
Senora Presidente, you are cute here. Oh, I bet you tell that to all the girls. Yes, no?
Yes, no. Ah, my chiquita, my bonita muchachita, I am not kidding. I have made you my wife. I love you so much you could even have my life.
Oh, gracias, Presidente. But I like something that will at least last over Sunday. Yes, no?
Yes, no. Ah, you are making jokes with me.
Then he rides again.
Quiet, here comes the horse. Maybe it is my good friend, the general.
Ah, don't invite him in. Any horse of yours is a friend of mine.
Quietly. Gracie, let's stop this. I can't do the silence.
I know.
Yes.
Now, go ahead, ask.
All right. Come in. Come in.
Ah, Senor Presidente, it is I, General Don Juan and Turbo.
Oh, my best friend.
Well, if he's your best friend, why don't you lend him a clean shirt?
A clean shirt?
See.
Ah, but he is not my bosom friend.
Presidente, I have two prisoners outside. I captured them both with one hand.
Oh, well, if they both have one hand, they won. You captured them.
Bravo. That is a good bit.
Senora, the bandits I have captured, they are nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, good, because, Senora, she do not feel like sneezing at strangers.
This is all work and no play, folks. It breathes and eats. Andale in here, quick. Stop your singing. Stop your singing.
Nueces. What is that? That's not the Spanish.
Is enough. Please, what is your name?
Bueno, I tell you my name. I am Pancho Tony Villa, the greatest lover in all America.
Abba.
The greatest lover?
Si, senorita. You must have me love you sometime.
Oh, have you loved me? Well, I guess a half a love is better than none, yes, no?
Yes, no. And the other prisoner. What is your name, Sourpuss?
Who are I?
Yes.
My face, you do not know who she is?
No.
No. Then I'll give you one more guess. My face, you do not know who she is.
Piety. What is that?
Presidente, those shooting was for the ex-governor. His term has just expired.
Oh, yeah, and the governor just expired.
If they're shooting governors, they're just fast, you see.
Baba. Wasting bullets on governors. I, Pancho Tony Villa, this morning see 20 Americanos in one Mexican.
Ah, the poor Mexican.
Oh, the poor fellow. The wind must be blowing.
No, that is my cook shooting at hot tamales.
Hot tamale? Well, tell him not to do it. Not know who she is, or go away.
Pancho Tony Villa. Yes. If you like to play the order, why don't you teach me?
You can? You can like that?
It's my husband like that.
Pancho Tony Villa. Your time has come. I am one man who will fool you, Cliff.
No, My husband thinks you are a one-man dog.
You call Tony G a dog?
Well, you must be dog. That's what you say in the newspaper. You say, can't say Tony Villa steals money and flees.
Steals money and flees? That's no particular. Look at my face and don't know who she is. Attacker! Come, I am your prisoner. Let's get out of here. I would rather stand in your this lousy dialect. I am the husband. I am still you. Georgie Porgy around to the lake.
I invite you to listen in and laugh with George. The makers of Campbell's Soup present George Burns and Gracie Allen. And here are George and Gracie.
Thank you very much. Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, boys, you certainly missed it. Did we have fun New Year's Eve, did we? Well, we had more fun than a barrel of bunkies.
A barrel of bunkies?
Yes.
Gracie, you mean a barrel of monkeys. Continue.
Well, that's what I said, a barrel of bunkies.
Well, for a minute I thought you were wrong.
Yeah.
No matter.
Well, anywho, I was at a party and they were dancing and everybody was glued to the stills.
Glued to the still?
Yes.
Screwed to the gills. You mean they were petrified?
Petrified.
I mean petrified. You've got me silly now.
Yeah, now.
Now, eh? Well, all right, so you had a good time.
Good time. Well, I was with a party of...
Right.
Yeah, well, that is, he'll be 85 in April. So...
Now, because the prunes were stewed, too.
Yeah? I don't get it.
Well, I don't either.
And you know, George, my granddaddy is so old that instead of taking for the drinks, he drinks for the shakes.
He's probably an old rumba dancer.
Mr. Field. And so, when we got home, my grandmother looked at my granddaddy and said, Hal, where have you been, Hal?
Hal. The kid's name is Hal?
Yeah, well, of course, she only calls him Hal for short. His whole name is Alcahal.
Oh, Alcahal, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Alcahal. So your grandmother asked your granddaddy where he'd been.
Yes, and he didn't answer.
He didn't.
He just fell down the stairs with 2 quarts of liquor.
I see. And did he spill the liquor?
No, he kept his mouth closed.
And Henry, what did you do New Year's?
Well, I went fishing through the ice.
Fishing through the ice. Well, that's a nice way of spending New Year's.
Yeah. I fished through the ice for 20 minutes until I got that cherry in the bottom of the glass.
And very good, too. And Tony, what did you do for New Year's?
Well, George, I went out New Year's Eve. You know, I was a little homesick. I didn't have a drink.
Well, now, I'm glad to hear that, Tony. And a pair of lips that touch liquor will never touch mine.
That's it. Your lips.
They're my liquor.
Tony, in case you should have any trouble with Gracie tonight, just call on me.
Don't worry about me, George. Gracie's putty in my hand.
Oh, thanks, Tony. And I think you're putty, too.
Putty. Well, Tony, I think there should be a wire for you. King, have you got a wire?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Tony,
Oh,
here's
I
a wire
see,
for
yes.
you.
I'm sorry, it was my line. I
George, you're right.
Thank you, Henry. Keep this up, and I'll put you both back in the trunk. That's it.
Excuse me a minute, George.
Oh, yes, the wire. Come on, Tony. What's in the wire?
Well, what do you think I am? A gentleman never reveals confidences. Things like this are sacred.
There's nothing in the wire, George. It's from Alice Faye, and she says she'll never meet her Tony Woney at the Twainy Waney when he arrives in Hollywoody, and she signs it Fazy Wazy.
Oh, I see. Double talk Fazy Wazy, eh? Isn't that pretty?
You know, George, every woman starts to talk baby talk when she's old enough.
I get it. Gracie, why don't you make a resolution to manage your own business, and Henry, Tony, and I will manage to have a good time.
Well, I did make a resolution. I made a resolution that now Tony Martin can't even kiss me after he's off the program.
Tony Martin has never even tried to kiss you while he's on this program.
And why do you think he's going off this program?
I can't imagine, but I know it isn't Alice Faye.
Oh, no, but he can come back sometime.
When?
When Faye is gone and shadows
When Faye is gone. Quiet. In other words, no kissy, no worky.
That's right. No necky, no checky.
No necky, no checky. Gracie, Tony Martin can't kiss you or he'd be breaking your resolution.
Well, he doesn't have to hold me that tight, does he?
Love must be a marvelous thing.
Yes, I've heard it very highly spoken of.
Oh, yeah, that stuff gets around.
Yes.
Before this goes too far, I think I'd better confess. I sent the wire for a rib.
Why not a chuck?
Mm-hmm.
Gracie, this whole story came out of my head, and there's absolutely nothing in it.
Oh, Henry, you're just self-conscious.
Well, Ken Roberts, the only one on this program Gracie hasn't picked on is you.
Well, George, now isn't that peculiar?
Oh, yes, it's quite peculiar, yeah.
Our announcer here in New York is Ken Roberts, and our announcer in California is Ken Niles.
Yeah, Ken Roberts and Ken Niles. Two Kens.
Oh, sure. You know, with Campbell's Chicken Soup, even their announcers have to come in Kens.
Tony, the song. Accompanied by Henry King and his orchestra.
Accompanied by Henry King and his orchestra.
Yes.
Henry, did you ever hear of that game called Follow the Leader?
Well, certainly.
Well, your musicians didn't.
I don't get it.
Yes.
Gracie, how does New York look to you after being away nearly a year?
Well, I've never seen any place so changed. The last time we were here, it was Tuesday, and now it's Wednesday.
I see. It's never a Tuesday on a Wednesday.
Oh, George, even when you're right, you sound silly.
I see. I sound silly, huh?
But then again, sometimes you don't, and then again, I wouldn't think of it.
Sometimes I don't, and then again, you wouldn't think of it.
Yeah, because after all, it's more important to anybody than it is to other people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Gracie, do you know what you're talking about?
Oh, thanks, George. I'm glad you understand.
Listen, one of these days, you're going to go with me to a brain specialist.
Oh, Frady cat, scared to go alone, huh?
If I had the teeny-weeny brain that you have...
You'd at least have a teeny-weeny brain.
Talking to you is like talking to a moving picture dummy.
Now, you've got no right to call him a moving picture dummy just because he makes love to Alice Faye.
I say.
Thanks, Gracie.
You're welcome, Tony.
Say, Tony, how are you enjoying your first visit to New York City?
Fine, Henry. Say, you remember that girl, Constance Wilson, that Alice Faye wished to take care of me?
Uh-huh.
Well, she took me sightseeing.
Have you seen the Empire State Building, the aquarium, Grant's Tomb, and Old Point?
No, but I saw Milgram's today. You did?
Oh, now, I think it's silly to visit those foolish places like Central Park and the Bronx Zoo and the Metropolitan Museum of Art and Radio City when you can go sightseeing in a dress shop like Milgram.
I think you've got something, Gracie.
Oh, you should have seen Constance when I bought her that mink coat. She was like a kid with a new toy.
You bought her a mink coat? Yeah. Henry, did
I heard he bought her a mink coat. Ken?
I know. We bought her a mink coat.
You bought her a mink coat and you only know her a week?
Oh, sure. You don't think Tony would buy mink coats for strangers, do you?
Well, now I feel better.
Of course, I didn't just buy it for Constance.
Oh, no. You knew it would make Alice Faye happy.
Sure. She's Alice's girlfriend.
Well, I know how you feel, Tony. Any friend of Alice's is a mink coat from you.
You said it, Gracie.
Speaking of mink coats, look who's coming.
Oh, hello, Tony boy.
Hello, Connie.
How do you do, Miss Allen?
Well, I don't do as well as you do.
It's coming.
I hear you've been minking this afternoon.
Oh, Tony, that coat is beautiful, and I adore those dresses and shoes.
Oh, so you've been shoeing and dressing, too. Did you do any hatting and gloving?
You know, Miss Wilson, Alice Faye is a very lucky person to have a girlfriend like you that Tony can buy things for.
Oh, I hated to have him spend so much money on me.
Oh, but if it makes Tony happy, who are you to deny him any pleasure?
Well, that's just what I said to myself. Constance, you mustn't be selfish.
Oh, you know, Tony, I think you ought to buy Constance an automobile. You owe it to Alice.
Now, don't get sarcastic, Gracie. Miss Wilson has meant a lot to Tony.
Thanks, George.
Yes, he came to New York a stranger. Now, I took him to Milgram's, and I took him to Saks Fifth Avenue, and I took him to Tiffany.
Oh, I can see you certainly took him.
I I think Miss Wilson has done a lot of good for Tony.
Well, nobody could have done any more good for him.
Outside of May West.
Well, I'm thinking...
My mind is in Egypt tonight.
You're telling me.
Yes, I'm thinking very seriously of letting Tony take me to Hollywood. I might go into moving pictures.
Oh, well, now it would be foolish to go all the way to Hollywood. You could see the same pictures here in New York.
Well, Gracie, Constance heard of a part at Paramount, and my agent might be able to get it for her.
What kind of a part is it?
Well, it's the part of a young girl who... Oh, but why should I talk about it? I'm probably too late for it now.
Yeah, about 20 years.
I'd love to see you get it, Connie. It's the part of a sweet, young, innocent,
Oh, don't be silly, Tony. Miss Wilson doesn't want to play character parts.
Gracie, are you trying to insult Miss Wilson?
I'm not even trying.
I can see that, yes.
I'll have you know that the only reason I took Tony Martin into Milgram's is because he wanted to use the telephone.
Oh, now I understand. And he was ashamed to come out without buying anything, so he bought you a mink coat.
Gracie, will you stop making a fuss over a measly $5,000?
Listen to me, Gracie Allen. If I had that mink coat here now, I'd throw it right at you.
What size is it?
What size is it?
I just did what Tony told me to do. He told me to pick out a coat to match my personality.
Oh, and they were all out of weasel, huh? George, I'm kind of because we're leaving for Hollywood tomorrow, and the people of New York have been so nice to me. I'm going to leave them my recipe on how to make a Hollywood sweetie pie.
A Hollywood sweetie pie?
Yes.
Well, that ought to be interesting, and I know that they'll admire your crust.
Oh, please, George. Recipe.
Yes.
Now, first take a couple of berries.
Blueberries or blackberries?
Oh, no, raspberries.
Raspberries, the big ones, yes.
Now, have you got 2 bowls home?
2 bowls?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, use a good-looking one.
Which one is that?
John.
John Bowl. That's that big bowl, yes.
And then you add a raft of spice.
I know that, but who's spice?
Ginger.
Oh, yes, ginger.
But not too much ginger. They'll give you heartburn.
I get it, and I suppose if you haven't got enough, you can always bury more?
Oh, nice red stick. More power to you.
Thanks.
Then,
Yes, what do you do then?
then you add a little butterworth.
Just a tracer?
Yes.
I see.
Then you light the stove and you put the pie in the Oberon.
In the Oberon, yes.
But don't let it stand with overnight.
Don't let it stand with overnight. This is really an easy recipe.
Oh, well, it's not a hardy.
A hearty. I get it, yes.
Now, the trick is to let it simmer twice.
The trick is to let it simmer twice?
Yes, simmer.
And is it good?
Is it good? Oh, boy, yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, I think we've had enough.
I think somebody wants to see you. There's a guy standing outside.
Guy standing? I'm going to have trouble with you, too.
Well, is he tall and handsome? Has he got beautiful eyes and an adorable face and a kissable mouth?
Oh, no.
Well, then tell him I don't want him.
I see. I'll tell him, Gracie, when he comes in. Gracie, every man isn't tall and handsome. Once in a while, you run across a man who's dull and homeless.
Oh, George, you must get over that inferiority complex.
Well, I'll do my best.
I'm from Milgram, the credit department. I'm here to check up on an account that was opened by a Mr. Tony Martin. He gave your name as reference.
Oh, sure, you don't have to worry about him.
Oh, thank you. Because we're to deliver a mink coat and dresses to a Miss Constance Wilson, and I thought that if you...
Oh, Tony Martin.
Yes.
Say, George, was he fired last week or the week before?
Gracie, Tony Martin just got through singing a song.
Oh, you see, mister, I told you he was through.
Oh, George, will you help me out?
Okay, listen, mister, this is just a lover's quarrel. You see, Miss Allen wants Mr. Martin to kiss her, and because he refuses to kiss her...
I'm only a credit man. I'm not interested in kissing.
well, I'm not either.
Well, I am. Gracie, I'll kiss you.
I see. This is our Mr. King who wants to be kissed.
Mister, have you any objections to kissing?
Oh, no.
Well, good. Then you kiss Mr. King, and I'll devote all my time to Tony.
Gracie, I think you've got something there.
Kiss Mr. King. Say, I'm a credit man from Milgram's, and I'm not kissing a man.
Are you insinuating Henry King isn't a man?
Henry, why did you stop it?
Well, I just said I'd kiss Gracie and...
Quiet. Had enough of it.
me, but I'm from Tiffany's jewelry store.
Oh, well, then you kiss him.
What is it, mister?
Tony Martin gave a Gracie Allen this reference and bought a diamond ring from her.
So Tony also bought Constance Ring, a Diamond Wilson. Oh, nuts. Here I am talking like a fool.
Oh, well, George, I'm glad to see that you're your old self again.
Yes.
I bought Constance a diamond ring because she wanted something to go with her mink coat.
Is his credit okay, Miss Allen?
Oh, certainly. It won't take him long to find another job.
Yes.
Hey, there's a chance of us not getting our money. Then we better not recommend the account.
Yeah, I always take care of my business obligations.
Tony, why don't you kiss her and get it over with?
That's my business.
Well, then stop neglecting your business.
I think so, too.
If I want to give Constance Wilson a mink coat and a diamond ring, that's my affair. And who's going to stop me?
We are. Listen, boys, you've got them all wrong.
Here's
Now,
a telegram for you, Tony. That's probably another one of Henry's jokes. Give it to George.
wait a minute. Henry, this is really from Hollywood. Listen to this. Dear Tony, I'm listening to your broadcast, and I don't know any Constance Wilson, and didn't tell anybody to look you up. The woman is an imposter. Signed, Alice Faye. What?
Oh, just as I thought. That Wilson girl is nothing but a gold digger and a cook.
3 people, eh?
Let's see that. I guess you're right, Gracie.
You gotta be thankful, Tony. Gracie saved you a lot of money.
Oh, well, I was glad to do it. If there's anything I hate, it's a gold digger. How any woman can take mink coats and diamonds from a man, I can't understand.
Gracie, I know you saved me a lot of money, and to show you my appreciation, I'd like to give you a little gift.
Oh, forget it, Tony. Don't be silly.
That's all right, Gracie. You saved him a mink coat and diamond ring. So if he wants to show his appreciation by giving you a little gift, let him do it.
Oh, all right, Tony, if it'll make you happy.
Ah, that's swell, Gracie. Now, what would you like me to give you?
Oh, I know. Just a mink coat and a diamond ring.
Henry, the music.
The makers of those fine Campbell soups invite you to listen in and laugh with George Burns and Gracie Allen again next Wednesday.
Tick, Flash, Hollywood, Walter Winchell. If you're listening in, Henry King, our orchestra leader, is marrying Vilma Lewis right after our broadcast tonight. And if you're not listening in, Vilma Lewis is marrying Henry King, our orchestra leader, right after our broadcast tonight, and vice versa, and we're invited. And Gracie Scoop Allen.
The makers of Campbell Soup present George Burns and Gracie Allen, Tony Martin and Ken Niles, and Henry King in his music.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Gracie, say hello to everybody.
Yeah, hello, Tony.
Hello, Tony. That's everybody?
Well, everybody that matters, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I know what you mean.
Well, never mind saying hello to us, Gracie. I know you're very busy these days. By the way, have you got your Christmas shopping done?
My Christmas shopping kit? Oh, sure, it's all done except buying the presents.
Gracie, why don't you buy your Christmas presents after Christmas?
Well, that's what I'm going to do. On account of you don't know what people need until the day after Christmas.
I know I'm heading for a headache.
Now, for instance, after I get a present from a girlfriend, I can tell what she needs. Now, if she gives me a handbag, then I know she doesn't need a handbag. Because if she needed a handbag, then why did she give it to me?
That's a good idea.
I know, I made it up.
You ought to have it stuffed.
Ought to have it stuffed what? The handbag?
No, your head.
Oh. I don't get it.
You don't, Henry.
You look at my face and you do not know who she is?
Henry, that was last week, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Can't
Say,
step out of
Henry.
character.
Henry, what are you going to give the boys in your band for Christmas?
Oh, I don't know, Gracie. What do you suggest?
Music lessons.
Not a bad idea. It's a good idea. Gracie, what are you going to give me for Christmas?
Well, George, did you see those star sapphire cufflinks down at the jewelry?
You mean the ones set in platinum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think Tony Martin would like them?
You're giving Tony Martin star sapphire cufflinks? What about me?
Oh, I think he'd rather have cufflinks.
Cufflinks? You mean cut glass? You do,
It's awfully sweet of you, Gracie. But Alice Faye bought me some cufflinks for my birthday.
Copycat.
Hello? Who? Oh, just a minute. Gracie, a phone call for you, and the party says it's very important.
Oh, well, it's probably the sponsor.
Oh, the sponsor.
I guess he wants to know whether Tony Martin is through this week or next week.
Never mind about Tony. Just answer the phone.
All right. Hello, Mr. Chicken Soup.
Mr. Chicken Soup?
Quiet,
It's a cute first name.
What's that?
Sam Chicken Soup.
It's who? Now, you have to speak clearly. I don't recognize your voice. No, I don't remember meeting you. No, you must have the wrong party. No,
Gracie, will you let me answer the phone? Hello. Who? Just a minute, Gracie, it's your mother.
Oh, hello, Mother. I didn't know you were sponsoring this program.
If it's your mother, she's probably sponsoring a pat itself for your daddy.
Now, please, Judge. Mother can't hear what she's saying.
She's lucky.
What? No, that was George Burns, Mother. George Burns. No, Burns. Look, Mother, if you light a match to the gas stove, what does it do? Oh, nothing? Oh, the gas is shut off?
Gracie, find out what she wants.
What, Mother? Oh, you're wrapping the Christmas presents. Oh, goody. What's that? Oh, you want to know whether you should wrap them now or wait until you buy the presents?
Gracie, don't make a quick decision. That takes a lot of thought.
Oh, not for me, George. What, Mother? Oh, you don't know whether to buy the presents now or wait until you get money?
That's an idea. I think she'd better wait a little bit.
Well, Mother, why don't you borrow the money till Daddy gets home? What? Oh, nobody will loan you the money for 20 years. Oh.
Why don't you tell her to ask the warden, Gracie?
Well, goodbye. Oh, by the way, Mother, how's Unky today? He's still dead, huh? Well, that's good. Goodbye.
Well, that was a nice hunk of dialogue.
Now, where was I?
You were in a jewelry store picking up cufflinks for Tony Martin that Alice Faye has already picked out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
George, the next time I see Caruso, remind me to ask him if he'd like to sing on this program.
Gracie, Caruso is dead.
Well, all right, then you ask him.
Look, there's one thing I'd like to explain to you. Tony Martin doesn't feel like coming up here at night and making love after making love at the studio all day.
Thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Now, Gracie, this morning I spent the entire morning kissing Simone.
Oh, the poor kid. You must be tired. Take me in your arms and tell me all about it, Tony.
Yeah, he's all in, yeah.
Well, I rehearsed a love scene with her 20 times.
Oh, what you need is a rest, Tony. Let me sit in your lap.
Tony, so Simone kissed you 20 times. I'd like to do that.
Well, go ahead, George. I'll hold them for you, and then you can hold them for me.
Tony, why don't you get Gracie into one of your pictures?
I'll bet I'd be great as a heroine.
Yeah, because heroin is a dope.
Oh, please, George.
And after kissing Simone all afternoon, I did nothing but hug and kiss Janet Gaynor.
You spent all morning making love to Simone, and all afternoon hugging and kissing Janet Gaynor?
Yeah.
Oh, just my luck to be out the night shift.
Sing for me. Tony Martin of 20th Century Fox singing Where the Lazy River Goes By from the picture with a banjo on my knee. Tony, you're swell.
Thanks, George.
Well, Gracie, how did you like Tony Martin?
Oh, I think he's beautiful.
Yeah, he's pretty. You know, Gracie, what do you want Santa Claus to give you for Christmas? Would a stocking hold all you want?
Well, no, but a pair of Tony Martin socks would.
I say. Well, that's if he's got a pair of socks. Yeah.
Well, now just think. 2 more days and it'll be December 25th.
Yeah.
And a week later, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
7 weeks from then, Washington's birthday. 5 months after that, 4th of July. Well. Half of next year gone already, and it isn't even Christmas yet. Time certainly flies, don't you think so?
Yes, I think so. Gracie, you forgot April Fool.
I'm coming to you, George.
Thank you.
Thank you. Some people like Christmas, but personally, I like Labor Day much better than Easter on account of the Christmas trees.
You have Christmas trees on Labor Day?
Mm-hmm.
Then what will you have on Christmas?
Well, I'll take the same as you do, George, only more ginger ale in mine.
I don't know what you're doing for Christmas, but I'm having a poor family for dinner.
Well, that's nice. We're having turkey.
Well, it's kind of different. With stuffing. Yes.
Yeah.
Love a turkey stuffing.
You know,
take it easy. Just give it. Just speak with her. There you go, Gracie.
Oh, George, let me talk.
Right.
If it weren't for one thing, I could sit under the mistletoe and kiss Tony Martin to my heart's content.
And what's the one thing?
Well, who wants to spend a dime for mistletoe?
Well, Tony, Gracie's got a mat on.
Gracie, let's cut that out. I don't want to start talking about kissing the minute I get down to work.
Well, that's what I say. Let's cut out the talking and get down to work.
In the first place, kissing is unhealthy. Isn't that right, Henry?
I don't know.
You don't know. You've never been kissed?
I've never been sick.
Is that so? Will you set me fool me, 'cause you look bad?
Tony Martin, I'm going to teach you a lesson.
You mean you're going to fire me off this program?
Oh, worse than that, I'm going to make you act in my Christmas play. And I'm going to do it sometime pretty soon right now.
You going to do a Christmas play sometime pretty soon right now?
Yeah, almost quicker than immediately.
Well, let's not act hastily.
Oh.
Well, I think that's going to be swell, Gracie. Is it another historical play?
No, Ken, it's a sort of a kind of a special Christmas play I wrote called Dickens' Christmas Carol.
I must be wrong. I thought Dickens' Christmas Carol was written by Dickens.
That's what he thought, too.
That's what who thought, Dickens?
No, Carol, Christmas Carol.
Oh, yeah, I know him very well. A tall fellow with a face. He's a...
Oh, don't be silly, George. Christmas Carol isn't a him, it's a her.
A her?
Bill Carol's sister.
Oh, Bill Carol's sister, yes. Very cute, too. Gracie, who's who in the screwy play of yours?
You, George, you're playing the part of Scrooge, the stingy old miser.
Well, I don't think I'll be able to read the script because miser saw.
Please,
I knew it was bad. I didn't like it. Oh, that's bad. Thank you. All right, so I'm Scrooge.
Yeah, but we'll call you Scroogey Poogie.
Scroogey Poogie.
And boys.
Yep.
Boys, you play the three ghosts.
The three ghosts, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know. Because this is a ghost-to-ghost program, huh?
That's right, Ken. The Pacific Ghost, the Atlantic Ghost, and it just goes to show you.
And we all act in this play, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know the play, Gracie. We're the three ghosts that come to haunt Scrooge.
Right, Tony. Ken,
Yep.
You're the ghost of the past. Henry?
Yep.
You're the ghost of the present. And Tony?
Yes?
Yeah, oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, Tony, you can't be the ghost of the future.
Why not?
Well, it's because the way you've been behaving, I'm afraid you haven't got a future on this program.
Oh, I see.
Do you follow me, Tony?
Yes, I follow you, Gracie.
Well, you better stop following me. Alistair will get awfully angry.
All right, Gracie, and what part do you play?
I'm Mrs. Fezziwig.
Mrs. Fezziwig?
Yes.
Who is Mrs. Fezziwig?
Well, she's the wife of Mr. Fezziwig and the mother of all their fuzzy little toupees.
Fuzzy little toupees, hair. And what do you do in this play?
Well, as long as the boys are ghosts, I have to be the ghostess.
Ghostess? You mean you're a lady ghost?
No, damn tall ghostess.
Henry, the music.
And now for Gracie Allen's masterpiece, Dickens' Christmas Carol. Conceived, written, directed, produced, released, presented, and sponsored by Gracie Allen.
Yeah, and I'm pretty, too.
Quiet.
Now, remember, George, you're Scrooge the miser.
Yes.
All your life, you've hoarded jokes. And on Christmas Eve, the ghosts of the past, present, and future of radio come back to haunt you.
I see. They're still haunting for their jokes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I'm Mrs. Fezziwig, the widow lady. And when the scene opens, you're at home in the attic, and I'm trying to get you to donate some jokes to the starving masters of ceremony.
Well, this is going to be a nice play.
Yes. Ken the cat.
All right.
Ebenezer Scrooge, the mean old miser of the airways, George Burns. Mrs. Loudspeaker Fezziwig, the nitwit of the network, Gracie Allen. The ghost of the past.
Oh! Something he ate, I guess.
Ken Niles. The ghost of the present, Tony Martin. The ghost of the future, Henry King. Time, midnight, Christmas Eve. Curtain.
Are you ready, ghost?
Yeah.
Music.
A haunting we will go. A haunting we will go. A haunting we will go.
Go ahead, George.
So this is Christmas Eve. Bah. And everybody is happy. Bah. I am not happy. They call me Ebenezer Scrooge, the joke miser. What fools people are to be happy on Christmas Eve. I sure feel sorry for all the poor masters of ceremonies on a cold night like this without a joke on their backs.
Scrooge, let me in. Let me in. This is Mrs. Fezziwig.
Come in and close the door. Close the door. It's chilly outside.
Well, Scroogey Poogie, if I close the door, will it make it warmer outside?
It's a nasty snowstorm outside. I'm chilled to the bone.
Well, it serves you right for going without a hat.
That's very funny, Mrs. Fezziwig. I'll put that away with the rest of my jokes. Shades of Al Jolson, Mrs. Fezziwig. Do you see this ghostly figure wrapped in a sheet?
Oh, yes, Scrooge. It's either Mahatma Gandhi or a man without Mahatma coat and the vest.
Quiet. Speak, ghostly guest. Who are you? What brings you here?
Who am I? where I play folks back in to hear my voice cracking on radio. I wonder now, there's no use in guessing. My name I'm confessing. The mayor of Mexico.
Well, what brought you here?
I've come to haunt you, Scrooge, for stealing my jokes, you know?
I don't believe you're a canter. All I can see is an empty sheet.
Yeah, Eddie, where did you park your carcass?
Don't haunt me, Eddie. I'm Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, Eddie, I'm an old man. Look at me. I'm all bent over.
Yeah, from lifting everybody's joke.
Oh, that's Ted Lewis? Hush.
You've stolen my best joke. I've got a goat in my house who hasn't got a nose.
Sleepy Hollow. And who are you?
Hello again. I'm the ghost of Jack Benny. Yeah.
Sounds like the goat of Jack Benny. You don't look like Jack Benny.
Well, George, if you were dead as long as Tony Martin, you wouldn't look like Jack Benny either, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Eddie Cantor. Well, Eddie, what are you doing all dressed up in a sheet?
Well, it's like this, Jack. This sheet has cut down the high cost of living. By wearing a sheet, I don't have to buy a suit, a collar, or a necktie. When I come home at night in a sheet, I'm ready for bed. When I wake up in the morning, I'm already in a sheet. And instead of expensive cleaning and pressing bills, I can have my sheet washed for 22 cents a pound. Ha! And don't I have to look for a collar button? No. Ha ha! You get it, Jimmy?
Silly cat, isn't it?
Oh, that was wonderful, Ken. You ought to be able to give an imitation of Harpo Marx.
Oh, Gracie, Harpo Marx can't talk.
I know.
Gracie, what's Eddie Cantor got that I haven't got?
5 daughters.
Well, Buck Benny, what do you want?
Scrooge, I'm here to haunt you. You stole my joke, a joke that I originated, a joke that made me famous. We've got a goat at our house without a nose. How does it smell?
Terrible, Jack. I used it on my program, too.
Quick, Mrs. Fezziwig, the pencil. It sounds like a new one. Jokes.
Ha.
Well, sort of a tacit. Well, who are you?
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Town Hall tonight.
Mr. Allen! Mr. Allen!
Well,
You can knock me down with an elephant, as the man in the kosher butcher shop used to say. I hope to kiss a pig if it isn't Portland Fezziwig.
nice work, Henry.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised myself. I must be a mimic.
What?
You must be a mimic.
You're a mimic? You mean you haven't any red corpuscles?
Well, Freddie Allen, have you come to haunt me about the goat at your house that hasn't got a nose?
No, not only am I a comedian, I'm a clever writer. I switched that joke. We've got a nose at our house that hasn't got a goat.
Some twist. A nose without a goat?
Well, maybe it's Jimmy Durante.
Jimmy Durante, the nose miser.
Oh, wait. We've got a goat that's got a nose, but we've got a house that hasn't got a yard.
Well, if you've got a house that hasn't got a yard, how does the goat play?
Like Henry King.
The pencil. Jokes. What's that?
The ghost of Major Bo's gong.
Well, it didn't have a very good ring.
Well, you miser, what do you want for nothing? The Westminster chimes?
Oh, that's a very good joke, Mrs. Fezziwig, for this chime of the year.
Oh, careful, Scrooge. Giving away those jokes, they'll be calling you Good Chime Charlie.
Good chime, Charlie. That's a beauty.
Scrooge, before I go, you can do me a few favors.
Yes, Jack Benny. What favors would you like?
Strawberry, raspberry, orange, lemon, lime.
And Campbell's chicken soup.
Thanks, Gracie.
You're welcome.
Well, goodbye, Jack Benny.
Goodbye, and a Merry Christmas to you.
Goodbye, and a Merry Livingston to you, too.
Well, Eddie Cantor, I've got every joke you ever used. I'm living on the fat of the land.
The fat of the land, well, you must have Jack Bernard, too.
I've got him.
Well, I can't expect a joke from a miser like you, but I thought you might at least give me a little pun. Goodbye.
Oh, isn't that cute, George? Eddie Cantor's got 5 daughters, and now he's looking for a little pun.
Jokes. Well, Freddie Allen, aren't you going back to Town Hall?
No, I'm going nuts.
Well, you're lucky, Fred. Everyone else has a long trip ahead of them.
Goodbye, Freddie.
Goodbye.
Tally ho! Tally ho!
Henry, the music.
makers of those fine Catholic suits invite you to listen in and laugh with George Burns and Gracie Allen again next Wednesday. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The makers of Grape Nuts bring you George Burns and Gracie Allen with Tony Martin, Ray Noble and his orchestra, and yours truly, John Connie. Roses are red, violets are blue. Almonds are nuts, and so are George and Gracie. And here they are, those two grape nuts.
Thank you. Well, Gracie?
George, you better be careful with me tonight.
I better be careful.
And that goes for you too, George.
I see.
You better not stop on my toes tonight, or I'll tell you a thing or a couple.
A finger a couple?
Yeah.
You mean a something or two. That's what you mean. Gracie, you don't sound very happy.
Oh, I'm happy. It's my uncle who saw.
Gracie, say hello.
Hello.
Well, that's better. Now, what's your uncle saw, though?
Well, when he went to bed last night, he hung his underwear on the bench, and somebody in the park stole it.
Your uncle sleeps in the park?
Well, certainly. What do you think he's got, insomnia?
Suppose he sleeps in the park and then he dreams that he's staying at the Ambassador Hotel.
No, their rates are too high.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. You see, Unky is trying to cut down expenses, so he just dreams that he has a small room at the Biltmore.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
If your Unky keeps on sleeping on a park bench, he'll be known as rent-free of the mountain.
That's very funny, George.
That's my own stuff.
Oh, dear. I think you've got a great future in humor.
You mean humor, comedy?
No, Yuma, Arizona.
Quiet.
George, old boy.
Yes, sir, Ray.
Well, I say, didn't you notice anything?
No.
Well, how do you like this suit I'm wearing?
Oh, it's beautiful. Is it new?
No, it's 6 years old.
6 years old?
Yes, this is the first time I've worn it.
Well, why didn't you wear it when you first bought it?
Well, I was very stout in those days, you see. And then when I went for a fitting, I couldn't get it on.
Ray, if you get any thinner, you'll look like an umbrella standing in the corner.
Yeah, and if Ray had a corner, he could open a cigar store.
I know.
If he had my uncle, he could open a safe.
Oh, quiet with your uncle. Your uncle is silly. It's a silly uncle.
Would you believe it, George? I lost 10 pounds since I bought this set.
What did you do, diet?
Yeah, it's always in this color.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
George, I'm still at the microphone.
So what?
Well, haven't you forgotten something?
Oh, yes, they went that way.
Thankfully.
Yes. Ray, why don't you go back to sleep in the park with Gracie's uncle?
The park?
Yes.
Sounds like a charming place. Is it exclusive?
Oh, definitely. They only allow one bum on a bench.
Say, George.
Yeah, yes, Tony.
I saw your picture down from the Stress last night at the Pantages Theater, and it was swell.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, Tony.
Gracie and John Connie were sitting with me, and you know me, George. I'm a pretty tough critic.
Well, Tony, coming from you...
You might not have been awfully good in this picture, but I still think it's the best picture you ever made.
Well, thanks, Tony, and don't think I'll forget this when your option is due for renewal.
Don't listen to Tony, George. If you'd have been any better, you'd have been pretty fair.
Call that a pretty nice compliment.
Sure, it's better than you can get from anybody else.
Well, then I'll take a case. Yeah.
George, remember the part in the picture where you tell that joke to Fred Astaire?
Yeah, that was quite funny. I enjoyed that
Tony
part.
was in hysterics.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Oh, I'm telling you, Tony laughed his head off.
Really?
Oh, well, he was laughing so hard that the usher had to come down and take the funny paper away from him.
I say, while I was telling a joke, Tony was reading a funny paper.
Yes.
Well, Tony, you certainly surprised me.
Yeah, and he surprised me, too. I didn't know he could read.
Well, I didn't either.
I say, George, if you're writing jokes for a funny paper, here's one I made up. Who is it that lives at the Biltmore and sleeps on a bench?
You sure you made that up?
Oh, yes.
Lives at the Biltmore and sleeps on a bench. Judge Sam Tralifass.
No, Gracie's uncle.
Oh, go away.
Oh, why don't you all stop ribbing George about his picture?
That's all right, Johnny. They don't worry me.
Well, they shouldn't, George. I saw the picture, and you can't be as bad as everyone says you are.
Oh, he could, too.
Yeah, well, wait till you see me in our new Paramount picture, College Swing.
You love George, Johnny. Why, I do a scene with George where Edward Everett Horton is sensational.
Well, I'm sure I like Horton, Gracie.
Gracie, what about me?
Oh, then you like Horton, too, George.
Well, it's quite encouraging.
By the way, Tony, isn't your picture going into the Grauman's Chinese Theater?
Sure, John, and don't miss it. It's a beauty.
I'll say it's a beauty, John. It's one of the prettiest theaters in Hollywood.
Oh, is it? Really? Where is it, George?
Where is it? Don't you know Grauman's Chinese?
No, but I know my laundryman is.
Look, it's very hard for me to stand here and talk with an empty head.
Judge, you're just self-confident.
Yes, on your mother's side.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, Gracie, who's in this picture, College Swing, with you?
Well, there's Edward Everett Horton, and Betty Grable, and Jackie Coogan, and Ben Blue, and Florence George, and John Payne, and Cecil Cunningham.
Oh, Gracie, haven't you forgotten somebody?
Let me see. Martha Ray.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Gracie, you're still forgetting somebody. Now, I'll give you a little hint. He's medium build, and he's quite good looking.
Well, sort of pretty, but...
And he wears clothes well.
Yes, and baby blue eyes.
Oh, now wait. And he tells jokes well, and he has a nice personality, and he's on the radio, and his name starts with a B?
That's right.
Bob Hope.
You guessed it, Tony the song. That was Tony Martin, 20th Century Fox star singing When the Organ Played Oh Promise Me on the One Rose. You know, Tony, there are lots of singers on the air, but your voice has got something that's a little bit different.
Thank you, George.
Yes, Tony's voice is delicious.
Yes, it's adorable.
Oh, it's crisp, it's crunchy.
Yes, and with sugar and cream, it makes a safe breakfast.
Said it.
Yeah. Gracie, did you have to study nights to become an imbecile?
No, I was smarter than the rest of the kids. I didn't have to study.
You must have been a pretty bright imbecile.
I was. When I went to school, I studied art and sewing.
Art and sewing. And did you learn anything about art?
Yes, I found out he was married, so I gave him up.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
And what about sewing?
I'm sewing him now for breach of promise.
Well, I sewing that coming, and I didn't duck in. Oh, yes. I can't stop me. I just go on forever. That's it.
George, old boy.
Yes, Ray.
How do you like my tie?
I know. It's brand new, and you got it 4 years ago.
Oh, no. I got it from Mrs. Noble for Christmas.
Well, it's very pretty, Ray.
It can also be used as an umbrella cover.
Oh, go away. Go play with your ball.
It took me about 3 hours to put it on this morning. You see, I forgot to take the umbrella out. Makes it awful.
Ray, this talk of yours is driving me silly.
Yeah, me too. George, let's talk about my sister.
I'm not interested in your sister.
Neither is Mr. Phillips.
Oh, Mr. Phillips?
Yeah.
Who is Mr. Phillips?
Oh, he's the fellow she was supposed to elope with.
Oh, I see.
And she was engaged to him for 5 years, but it wasn't long enough.
The engagement wasn't long enough.
No, the ladder.
Oh, the ladder. The ladder wasn't long enough.
No, you see, it wouldn't reach to her third floor window.
So what?
So what? So he eloped with the girl on the second floor.
Call that quite a twist.
Yes,
Some
but
switch.
she married the fella on the fourth floor, and they're living happily on the fifth floor.
I see. Gracie, you forgot to mention the sixth floor.
Well, that's another story.
Oh, it is.
But it isn't as good as my Misty story. Now, my
You
Misty
see,
story...
Tony, all I did was try to compliment you on your song, and look what I started.
Well, if that one mention caused all this talk, I wonder what would happen if I told Gracie I hired a secretary just to answer my fan mail.
You're kidding. Got yourself a secretary just to answer your fan mail?
Sure. Sometimes I get a whole stack of mail.
Oh, then he has to answer your bills, too, huh?
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I killed that guy. I did that with my own little hatchet.
Say, Johnny.
Yes, Johnny.
Will you call my secretary, Godfrey? He's out in the hall.
Right. Oh, Godfrey.
Wise guy, eh? I'll prove you I get about 500 fan letters a week.
This way, Godfrey. Tony, here's your secretary.
Yes, sir?
Godfrey, this is Mr. Burns, Miss Allen, Mr. Noble, and Mr. Conti.
All right, Mr. Martin. I'll read it back to you. Mr. Burns, Miss Allen, Mr. Noble, Mr. Conti, gentlemen. Continue, Mr. Martin.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
No, Godfrey. I just brought you in to prove something. How many fan letters did I get today?
Just a postcard from Alice Faye, sir.
And it probably came collect.
Say, Godfrey, you look familiar to me. Do you buy your clothes at Bullock's?
No, miss.
At the Pig and Whistle?
Pig and Whistle?
Yes.
Gracie, you don't buy clothes at the Pig and Whistle. That's a restaurant.
My brother got a coat there.
Oh, quiet. So, Tony, your fan mail is a postcard from your wife, huh?
Oh, yeah? Godfrey, how many fan letters did you answer Saturday?
600 letters, sir.
600 fan letters?
You see, Saturdays I work for Bing Crosby, sir.
Oh, you do, huh?
Godfrey, do you answer any fan mail for Clark Gable?
Yes, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Well, and how do you like my handwriting?
Beautiful, miss.
Oh, what do you do on Tuesdays and Saturdays? Sundays?
I work for Robert Taylor and John Barrymore.
Don't you get a day off?
For sure, on Monday, when he answers Tony's fan mail.
Yeah, that's the day I'll take off, too. Don't mind her, Tony. She doesn't know what time it is.
Mr. Burns, maybe you'd like to buy her a watch. I can get you 10% above wholesale. You also sell watches? Yeah, I'm out to make $1.
Oh, I can see that.
Godfrey, you certainly look familiar, and you don't buy your clothes at Bullock's, huh? Do you ride horseback?
No, miss.
Do you play tennis?
No, miss.
Do you dance?
Yes, miss.
Oh, good. Then let's dance.
Oh, quiet. The whole thing is giving me a headache.
Mr. Burns, would you like to buy some aspirin?
Tony, what is this secretary of yours? At a department store?
Why, George?
I bet he sold you the suit you're wearing.
I think, Godfrey, why don't you sell George the suit he's wearing?
Why doesn't he sell me the suit I'm wearing?
Yes, it will certainly fit better than the one you've got on, old chap.
Look, Ray, will you go away and take Godfrey with you?
Hold on, Godfrey.
Now, George, you can't talk that way to Tony's secretary, and I think you ought to apologize to him.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Allen. No hard feelings, Mr. Burns. Do you smoke?
Why, yes, Godfrey.
Good. Will you buy your cigars from me?
How do you like a guy like that? He sells aspirin, cigars, watches, suits, and he's also a secretary.
Oh, Godfrey, I just still can't place you.
Can't place him,
You sure you don't buy your clothes at Bullock's? Huh?
No, miss.
He said no.
Were you at Lady Cameron's party Sunday?
No, miss.
No. Weren't you in the upper box at the opening of the Metropolitan Grand Opera season?
No, miss.
No.
Look, Gracie, this can
now,
go on.
wait a minute, George, wait. Oh, wasn't your picture in the newspaper watching the coronation in England?
No, miss.
No. Oh, I got it. You're the doorman at the Trocadero.
That's right.
That's all I want to know, Ray. You know, Ray, I played some of your records at a party last night, and the guests ate them up.
No, did they really, George? Are they cheaper than sandwiches?
I wouldn't know, Ray. I never played a sandwich.
Oh, you should try one sometime.
I will.
George, do you know what this conversation of yours and Ray's is doing to our listeners?
No. What?
Well, it's keeping them from hearing about my mystery.
Oh, yeah. You're writing another mystery.
Well, yes, it's a murder mystery, and it takes place in an expensive nightclub, and the title is Slay It With Music.
Slay It With Music?
Yes, or Death Begins at $8.40.
Well, it's a nice title.
Do you want to hear about it?
No.
You don't want to hear about the mysterious murder that was committed in the nightclub right under the head waiter's nose?
No, Gracie, I don't.
You're not interested in knowing why the pearls were stolen and how the detectives had to eat 500 oysters before they found the pearls?
No, Gracie, I'm not.
Oh, well, then you wouldn't like to know how the busboy tracked down the murder by identifying the waiter's fingerprints in the suit.
No, Gracie, I wouldn't.
All right, then, listen.
Oh, nuts.
The play starts with a wealthy diner eating some ham and eggs in the nightclub.
In other words, the scene is laid in a nightclub.
Well, yes, but the eggs were laid in the hen house.
Gracie, I don't want to hear any more about this mystery of yours.
Well, I was coming to that, George. Johnny Conti.
Yes, Gracie.
Now, you play the part of the wealthy diner.
The wealthy diner who's eating ham and eggs.
Mm-hmm. But your feminine companion, an exotic, exciting, exquisite, exhilarating creature, is eating lobster.
Why is this exotic, exciting, exquisite, exhilarating creature eating lobster?
I tell him I don't like ham and eggs.
I see what you mean. Gracie, do you have to tell me about this mystery play?
Well, no, but I will.
I say.
Tony!
I'm waiting, Gracie. What part do I play?
Well, you play a suspicious-looking character in a checkered coat.
Checkered coat?
A checkered coat.
Where will I get a checkered coat?
In the check room.
I suppose Tony finds a loud vest in the vestibule.
Yeah, and a pair of pants in the back.
Well, all right, Tony, you're a suspicious character, and Johnny Conti is a wealthy diner.
Oh, yes. And just as Johnny finishes his ham and eggs, somebody hollers murder, and they find the orchestra leader dead.
The orchestra leader is dead.
Well, everybody thinks he's dead, but they discover that it's only Ray Noble.
Well, that's a natural mistake, don't you think so?
Yes, I think so.
I do, too. George, old boy,
Yeah.
Did I hear somebody say that I was dead?
No, Ray. There's a mistake. The people just think you're dead.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, old man, because if I'm dead, I ought to stop paying my life insurance.
Pay it, Ray. If they ever get a look at you, you'll be able to collect it.
Now, please, Bob. Well, anywho, the police finally rush to the nightclub, and while they're there, the proprietor robs them. That's you, George.
I'm the proprietor of the nightclub, and I rob the police.
Well, sure, you charge them $3.50 for a steak sandwich.
I do, huh?
Yes.
And how do the police take it?
Without salt, pepper, or ketchup.
Without salt, pepper, or ketchup?
Well, yeah, you see, Judge, we're not allowed to use any spicy stuff on the radio.
I think I get what you mean, yeah.
And now, the plot really thickens.
You mean sicken?
That's what I mean.
That's what I thought you meant.
So, one of the cops grabs Tony, snaps the handcuffs on him, and he's charged with murder.
Who have I murdered, Gracie?
Well, you haven't murdered anybody, but you admit the murder and show the police the body just to throw them off the trail.
Well, that's a quick piece of thinking.
Well, Tony didn't think of it. I thought of it.
Well, that explains it, yeah.
You know, there's one thing that just puzzles me, George.
There usually is, Ray.
Oh, quiet. When I go down to collect my life insurance, do I get somebody to swear that I'm dead, or will they take my word for it?
Well, if they doubt your word, Ray, just send them to me.
Oh, it's awfully sweet of you.
Oh, don't make it so.
Gracie, don't I do anything else in this mystery but sit and eat ham and eggs?
Oh, sure you do, Johnny. When the murderer fires the first shot from his six-shooter, you get so excited you kiss me.
You just kiss her,
And
Johnny.
when he fires the third shot, you kiss me 3 times.
But you lucky fellow.
When you hear the 6th shot, you kiss me 6 times.
All you do is kiss her, Johnny.
And when you hear the 12th shot, you kiss me 12 times.
Wait a minute,
And
wait a
when you-
minute. 12 shot? I thought the murderer only had a 6-shooter.
Yeah, but I carry a gun, too.
Oh, I forgot. You wrote this play. I can Come in.
Oh, it's Miss Eggnog. Sit right down, Miss Eggnog. I'll be right with you. So,
Miss
the police...
Miss Eggnog?
Yes. So the police...
Who is Miss Eggnog?
Well, she's the lady who's going to do the screaming in my mystery. She's a professional screamer, you know. So the police offer her a
professional
reward.
screamer?
Oh, yes, she's one of the best screamers on the radio. Miss Eggnog, will you scream for George, please? How do you like it?
Well, I think she's positively wonderful.
I wouldn't hire her until I gave her a scream test.
A screen test? Well, I'll bet she gets plenty of sugar, too.
Well, sure. There's only one thing that's better with sugar and scream,
And that's great, Nuts. I thought that
yes.
was coming. I'm glad to know that.
Miss Eggnog screamed on the Freddie Allen show last week.
You don't mean it.
I do. Miss Eggnog, show George how you screamed on the Freddie Allen show last week.
She's certainly going to frighten the kids if she keeps it up.
No, Miss Eggnog.
She made a
That's the
mistake.
way...
Huh? She made a mistake?
That's the way you screamed on the Jack Benny show. Now scream the way you screamed on the Freddie Allen show. Yeah, well, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Has more personality.
Yes.
Sort of a lisp to the last scream, yeah.
Now, you see, George, even a screamer can make a mistake.
I could see that, girlie, yeah.
George, old boy, I don't want to start anything, but did I hear somebody scream?
Ray, what would you say was the past tense of scream?
Well, I should say, I think the right word would be scram.
Scram. Well, that goes for me, too. I'll see you later.
You know, George...
Certainly ad-libbing nothing.
Miss Eggnog comes from a family of screamers.
You don't say.
Her whole family screams for a living.
Is that so?
Oh, yes. Miss Eggnog, show George how your mother screams. That's pretty good, isn't it, George, for a woman 75 years old?
Yeah. Is that the woman just screamed? That wasn't the sound man laying an egg, was it?
No. Why, her grandmother was a screamer.
Yeah.
And her grandfather was a screamer. Her mother was a screamer. Her father was a screamer. Her brothers and sisters are screamers, and she's a screamer.
Right down the line, huh?
Oh, sure. They're a scream line family.
A scream line? Well, that's enough. Ray, the music. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Good night.
This is John Conte saying good night for the makers of Grape Nuts. The makers of Grape Nuts bring you George Burns and Gracie Allen with Tony Martin, Ray Noble and his orchestra, and yours truly, John Conte. Landlords run want ads for empty apartments. Poets write sonnets about empty hearts. Hillbillies croon ballads about empty saddles. But George and Gracie wander about with empty hats. And here they are, those two great nuts.
Thank you. Well, Gracie, say hello.
George, I always say...
And never mind what you always say. Just say hello.
But, George, I always say...
Later, Gracie. Right now, I want you to say hello.
Well, George, I always...
All right, I give up. What do you always say?
Hello.
So you always say hello?
Yeah, but why do I always say that?
Because it's a custom. Everybody always says that.
But why?
Why? Because it is.
How do you know?
Because I've got a good memory and an elephant never forgets.
Where did that expression, an elephant never forgets, originate?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, then you're not an elephant.
No, I'm not an elephant.
But you're pretty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Hello, George. Hello, Gracie.
Oh, hello, John.
Oh, Johnny, where did that saying?
Gracie, an elephant never forgets is just an expression like shaking hands is a custom. You know what a custom is.
Oh, sure. A custom is what you wear when you go to a masquerade, like a sailor's custom.
Yeah, it's a nice custom, yes. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's what it is, and I'm glad that it's over.
Yeah, but why is shaking hands a custom?
Well, it's because... Oh, I must be nuts.
Well, I know, but you can't use that as an excuse for everything.
Oh, quiet.
George, I think I can explain shaking hands.
Well, let's explain it.
You see, Gracie, way back in the early days, the open hand was held out as a sort of a gesture of peace to show that there was no weapon in it.
Oh, they'd hold the weapon behind them in the other hand, huh?
No, there wasn't any weapon.
There wasn't any weapon?
No.
Then what are we talking about?
We're talking about shaking hands.
All right, then let's shake hands.
All right, hello, Gracie.
Hi, George.
I see.
Gracie, shaking hands is like any other customary greeting, like kissing or...
Oh, Johnny, if you think shaking hands is like kissing, then you've never been kissed.
Either that or he's never shaken hands.
No.
I say, George.
Yes, sir, Ray.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Ray, you're only about 3 weeks late.
Oh, I know, chap, but I can't very well say hello, because I'm not an elephant, so we'll just have to shake hands with an empty weapon, that's all.
Well, I've had enough of this. I don't want to hear another word about customs or shaking hands or elephants, and especially hellos. I'm losing my mind.
Well, hello, everybody. Hello, George. Hello. Well, say hello,
Oh,
George.
shut up. Close your big mouth. Nice of you to drop in this evening, Tony. Do you feel all right?
I feel like $1 million, George.
Oh, George, where did that expression? I feel like $1 million.
Quiet with those expressions. Tony, what makes you feel so gay this evening? What did you do, inherit money, or did you get a traffic ticket?
Well, I just joined a new health club, George. I just came from there, and I feel like a 2-year-old colt.
Tony, a cold wouldn't last 2 years. Must be asthma.
Gracie, he said cold, not cold.
Yeah, don't you talk funny when you get a cold?
I talk very, very funny. I wish you'd stop because you're driving me out of a vibe.
And George, you know, at this health club, we've got a marvelous handball court. Would you believe it? It holds 5 bridge tables.
You don't say.
Yes, you really ought to join the club, George. I know I feel like a new man.
Feel like a new man, George. I know how that started.
You do, huh?
Oh, yes. My sister's been going around with the same fellow for 3 years.
So she feels like a new man.
Yeah, that's the way it started.
I see, yes. Tony, if I last until tomorrow, I might join your health club.
Well, George, the exercise will do you a world of good. You get there in the morning, and all we wear is gym shoes and a pair of trunks.
I say, Tony, wouldn't it be rather awkward getting into a trunk to exercise?
Ray, you know, Ray, you've got as much sense as a jackrabbit.
How do you know?
A little birdie told me.
Oh, George, where did that
Ask Johnny Compton.
All right,
I've had enough of that
Johnny.
stuff.
Johnny, where did the expression "a little birdie told me" originate?
Well, a little birdie told me is a reply often received from a person who has been asked the source of certain information and who does not care to reveal it.
Yes, Johnny, and she do mean you.
And I might add that years ago somebody wrote, quote, "Curse not the king, not even in thought, for a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which has wings will tell the matter," end quote.
Boy, what a plug for Great Nut.
Johnny, the health club, remember?
Oh, yes. You know, George, our Turkish baths are really wonderful, and so are our steam cabinets.
George, old boy, I wouldn't use those steam cabinets if I were you.
You wouldn't, eh?
Oh, definitely not. I took a steam bath once, and when I came out, my clothes were shockingly wrinkled.
Ray, do you happen to know anything about customs and sayings?
Oh, rather.
Then, Ray, why do you say goodbye?
Oh, well, because I'm leaving.
Well, good. Then leave and let leave.
Oh, George, how did that say?
Look, Gracie, do I look like an encyclopedia?
No, you part your hair in the middle.
Oh, quiet.
Say, George, you really ought to join this club. There isn't a big name in Hollywood who isn't a member.
Oh, then I think I'll join too. I'm dying to meet Claudette Colbert.
So am I. Tony, stop. That was Tony Martin, 20th Century Fox star singing My Heaven on Earth. That was beautiful, Tony. No wonder your records are selling like hotcakes.
Thank you, George.
Oh, that's not much of a compliment. You can buy those for 10 cents a sack.
Gracie, why don't you go home and play a hotcake on your phonograph?
I did once, and it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't, huh?
No, the needle got stuck in the maple syrup.
Well, that accounts for it. Oh, yes. No, 1, 2, Ray.
Oh, no wonder you had difficulty, Gracie. It's very hard to eat hotcakes with a needle.
He got it in. Well, shut your mouth. Well, thanks for waking up, old fellow.
Well, I tell you, George, I'm awfully sorry, but
Ray,
they went the other
back.
way.
Well, okay, Ray. We're both two down. This conversation is driving me nuts. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, don't be silly, George. Where could the conversation go at this time of night?
Oh, yes. Why somebody doesn't back up a wagon is certainly a mystery.
You call that a mystery? I'm writing a mystery.
I know. The nightclub mystery of yours called Death Begins at $8.40.
Oh, I had to change that title. It was stolen from me.
Stolen from you?
Oh, yes.
Who stole it?
My daddy. Well, you can't leave a title laying around our house with $8.40 in it.
Oh, yes. Gracie, please, quiet.
Oh, George, George.
Where did the saying quiet come from?
Yeah.
The telephone was ringing.
Well,
Gracie, will you answer the telephone?
Oh, sure. Hello? Hello, what number do you want? Gladstone 1131? Oh, no, you must have the wrong number. This is Gladstone 1131.
That's better.
What? You want Gladstone 1131? Well, you can't have it. We've got it.
Gracie, ask them who they want.
Oh, who do you want, please? What? You want me? Oh, George, don't look now that I think it's Clark Gable.
I'm not looking, Gracie.
What? Oh, you're not Clark Gable? Then who are you? Oh, hello, Mother. George, it's my mother.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Say goodbye to her for me.
Oh, please, George. What, Mother? What? She did? Just a little while ago? Oh, no. How much did it weigh?
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Oh, I could hardly wait to see it. Yes, Mother, I'll go right over after the broadcast. Oh, sure, I'll take George with me. He'll want to see it, too. Goodbye. Oh, George, what do you think happened to my sister?
Well, Gracie, after listening to your conversation, of course I couldn't guess.
Oh, well, then I'll tell you. She won a 12-pound turkey in a raffle.
Well, that certainly is good news. I hope your sister and the turkey are doing as well as can be expected.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I say, George, did I hear Gracie say that somebody won her sister in a raffle?
No, Ray, it was a turkey.
Oh, well, of course it was a turkey that said it, and I doubt whether I'd believe it.
Ray, that way.
Oh, yes, right-o.
Right-o, yes. I don't know. Everything happens to me.
Near Mr. Shane. Mr. Shane.
Hello, boys.
By near Mr.
Well, who is that?
Near Mr. Shane.
George, he's the window washer. He's in here to clean the windows.
Clean windows? Well, what about me?
Oh, no, George, he only cleans windows.
By near Mr. Shane.
Hey, by me, Mr. Shane, will you come here?
Yeah?
What are you going to do, sing and wash windows, huh? If you don't mind, we're trying to do a broadcast.
I don't mind. Go right ahead. You ain't bothering me none. By beer.
We ain't, Will you stop that singing and get out of here?
Hey, who are you to give orders, you big palooka?
Quiet. Palooka, who am I? I'm George Burns of Burns and Allen.
He said it, and I'm Gracie Allen of Allen and Burns.
Allen and Burns?
Yeah. And this is John Connie of Grape Nuts in the Trocadero.
Gracie, please, I want to
And
get...
this is Ray Noble of N as in Nibble, O as in Dibble, B in this Quibble.
How do you do, Mr. Quibble? My name's Nibble.
Oh, Bibble, I've had enough of this.
And this is Tony Martin of 20th Century Fox in Alice Bay.
Well, now that we're all acquainted, we can all get together and have lots of fun.
All right. Take it, Mr. Window Washer. By near Mr. Shane.
Wait a minute with that by mere Mr. Shane. This is silly.
Say, girlie, you don't have to introduce me to Tony Martin. Tony and me are pals.
Pals?
Well, Charlie, let's step outside and talk things over.
No, I got some windows to wash, but I'm getting a lot of interference from this here dribble push.
Dribble push?
George, how did that start?
I don't know. This fella came in here to wash windows, and I don't even know
No,
him.
I don't mean that. I mean, when did you start being a dribble push?
A dribble push? Look, will you all stop, and Tony, will you get this pal of yours out of here?
Charlie, you'd better go. This is GB. He's the boss here.
Oh, the boss. So that's a palooka you told me was such a big tightwad, huh?
Tightwad, am I?
Yeah, tightwad. Don't take that from that window washer.
Yeah.
Don't let him get away with it. Go on, say something to him, dribble push.
Dribble push?
Boy, that's telling him dribbling.
Look, Tony, dribbling. Dribbling, I am forever blowing. Tony, will you get rid of this guy, or I will?
You and who else? Why, Tony, if we had this little Lord Fauntleroy down at the health club, we'd punch the stuffing out of him.
Yeah, what would you? Well, I'd get spunky... The health club?
Oh, come on, Charlie, will you please? Let's go outside. George, I'll explain everything
Wait a
later.
minute. What do you know about the health club?
Oh, not much. I'm only the president, that's all.
Is that so? Oh, sure it's so. Don't you remember Tony saying that everybody who is anybody in Hollywood is a member?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
You bet. There's Captain Ellen Bogan, the hock shop fella. McGillicuddy does extra work.
Yeah.
Spitzelheimer, the delicatessen clerk.
I remember.
Felix Warfelfinger, the busboy at the Brown Derby.
Well, quite a clique.
Quite a trick. Yes, Katzenellenbogen and McGillicuddy and Spitzleheimer and Felix Wafflefinger.
Well, Tony's right. Those are the biggest names in Hollywood.
You said it, Ray, the music. Ah, swell, Ray, swell. I don't know how young musicians do it, but maybe it's because they're working for a genius.
Oh, I must look into that, George. They're not supposed to work for anybody but me.
They're not, huh?
Say, Ray, did you tell George about my mystery play that I'm writing?
Why, no, Gracie, I didn't tell George about any mystery.
Oh, good. Then I'll tell him.
Yes, good. I don't want to hear about your mystery.
Oh, well, then that's different. It's called The Case of the Empty Watch.
The case of the empty watch,
Yes, or give him the works.
Gracie, I said I didn't want to hear about your play.
All right, then we'll talk about something else. Now, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about your sister. What's your sister doing now?
She's helping me write my mystery.
Oh, quiet, quiet.
Yeah, quiet. The curtain's going up. Now, as the scene opens...
I know, that's where the police come in.
Well, no, that's where my musical number comes in. And it's
a musical number in the mystery?
Well, yeah, that's just to break the monotony.
I see. Well, that's a nice piece of breaking.
Yes. My musical number's called The Fantasy of the Cities.
The Fantasy of the Cities.
Mm-hmm. You see, I tell the story by using the names of cities and towns.
And it's the Fantasy of the
City,
Cities.
Yes. Now, for instance, Tony Martin is a rich man who's been making a lot of money in Georgia, but he needs a few more dollars to pay his taxes. Get it?
Yes, a few more dollars to pay his taxes.
Yes.
Well, that's not hard for me to understand.
Yeah, all you're catching on.
Now, Gracie, if this is a musical number, do I play the part of a singer?
Oh, well, no, Tony. You've got a little Quincy in Detroit. So you can't sing.
You can't sing?
No.
Well, walla walla, that's very good.
Very good. As Al Jolson would say, New Haven heard nothing yet.
I guess not.
Am I in this musical number, Gracie, the Fantasy of the Cities?
Well, I should say you are. Johnny, you're the little boysy that I'm in love with.
But maybe Johnny doesn't love you.
Oh, that's all right, George. I'm glad to humor her.
Oh, yes. Yes, I get it. Humor, yes. I see the joke, yes.
Yeah, well, you see, George, Johnny's on my side. You spoke Tucson.
Tucson? Yes. But, Gracie, I'm a very outspoken man.
Well, anywho, the scene switches now to a town in Montana.
Nice piece of switching, yes.
But I can't mention the name of it.
Why not?
Well, George, you're not allowed to say Helena on the radio.
Well, that was really a beaut.
Oh, yes. It's very funny. Anaconda, I made it up myself.
Oh, yes. Anaconda, you made it up right out of your own marblehead.
No, please, George.
I say, Gracie, am I in this Fantasy of the Cities?
Oh, well,
of the cities. Of the cities.
Certainly.
Well, do I play another murder victim?
Well, yes, Ray. And your name is Valley.
Rudy Valley?
No, Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Yeah, and you're from Texas.
Maybe Ray can't play a dead body from Texas.
Of course he can.
Of course he can, yes. Well, Ray, you can try.
Well, I'll be glad to. It sounds like a very jolly part.
Oh, rather.
Gracie, how is Ray murdered?
Well, Ray has a lot of money on him. You see, it was payday in Des Moines.
Payday in Des Moines?
Yes.
And Ray is a moiner?
Yes.
He's under 16, yes.
And he was driving along the highway.
In the Cadillac?
No, in the Buick.
In the Buick? Yes. Well, I can't say that it makes much difference which car it is.
Oh, please. Well, anywho, Ray's car runs out of gas in front of Tony's house.
Yes.
So he gets out of his car to peek into Tony's window.
Oh, yes. Well, I hope he doesn't fall, because you know that old saying, Topeka they are, the harder they fall.
Oh, yes.
I say, George, you're mistaken about that.
About what?
Well, about fall. It isn't fall, it's winter. Although, of course, I understand it's 3 hours earlier in the east.
Gracie, Ray is looking into Tony's window.
Oh, yes. All of a sudden, Tony gets scared when he hears, Illinois.
He hears Illinois,
well,
and that scares him, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So he calls his housekeeper Mississippi.
Gracie, you're sure my housekeeper is Mississippi?
Yes, you hired her when Virginia quit.
Oh, yeah, Mississippi, yeah. What happened to Maryland and Missouri?
Idaho.
Idaho? You don't,
No.
George, maybe you'd better keep your mouth shut.
Well, Tony, comedy relief, eh?
Oh, boys. Now, this is where Johnny Condy comes in. You see, Johnny has fallen for a Notre Dame from South Bend.
A Notre Dame,
so,
and that, of course, makes you jealous.
Oh, Winchester Minute, Johnny.
Oh, yes, Winchester Minute, yes.
Although Johnny has been giving her expensive bottles of Florida water, he has started to tamper with my affections.
Really?
Oh, yes. Then all of a sudden, there's a shot. Ray puts his hand up to his chest and says, Omaha.
Omaha, and he falls dead on the floor.
Yes. And now the cops are racing to the murder.
Well, there's no time to Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I should say not. But the excitement is too much for me, so like a big cicero, I start to bawl.
You don't.
Oh, I do. And when I found out that Johnny was leaving me, I bawled more than ever.
Shame on you, Johnny.
Well, why am I leaving you, Gracie?
Well, because you're afraid you will be Connecticut with the murder.
I see, and I suppose the Worcester is yet to coma.
Oh, yes, yes. And after Ray is shot, the police are ready to arrest Tony. But he is saved by Santa.
Santa?
Well, that's just his moniker.
Oh, Santa Monica.
Yes.
I guess yes. It came to me like that.
Well, George, that's the end. Do you like this play as well as the other?
Well, Gracie, I hate to say it, but I think all of your plays are wonderful.
Oh, do you think I'll be able to sail them?
Sail them? Well, I hope you can sail them down the river.
Say, George, now that the play is over, what do you say if we Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, that's a good idea, Tony. What was that?
Ray Noble just broke the window that he was Topekaing in.
He broke the window, huh?
Yes, with a little rock.
With a... Boys, I got a TL for you. The play is over.
Oh, good. Johnny, I was going to the Trocadero after the broadcast tonight. You know, Amarillo girl who's hungry.
I see.
I'd like some dinner.
You'd like dinner? Mm-hmm. You can't go to the Trocadero without eating it.
Well, you know me, George. I never could Pasadena.
Pasadena. You can't... Ray, the music. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Remember me, Gracie, I'm the window washer. What are you doing after the broadcast?
Oh, I can't see you tonight. I'm going home with dribble pudding.
That's me, folks. Good night, all.
Chesterfield presents George Burns and Gracie Allen, Frank Parker, Ray Noble and his orchestra. Campers have their weekends under the pine trees. Swimmers have their weekends under beach umbrellas. Astronomers have their weekends under the stars, but George and Gracie have their weekends under their hats. In other words, Chesterfields give you chess two fools, and here they are, George and Gracie.
Thank you. Well, Gracie, what do you say to everybody?
Hello.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, George, I'm having such a wonderful rest in New York. Nothing to do and all day to do it in.
So you're getting a good rest, I
Oh, yes. Last night I went to the Star Club, the El Morocco, the Antonetti's, the 21, the Paradise, the Silver Slipper, the Cotton Club, and the Casino.
Well, those are nice places to rest.
Yeah, I think so. And tonight I'm going sightseeing, then taking a movie, walk up and down Broadway, then going to a cafe in Greenwich Village, and then drive out to the beach for a clam bake.
Clam bake? That's all, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's not tiring.
Oh, no, they have somebody there to open the clams for you.
But those nightclubs, what would you call going to 20 nightclubs?
I'd call it taxi.
I'd call you an imbecile.
Are they cheaper than taxis?
Much cheaper, yeah.
I say, George.
Oh, hello, Ray.
You know, George, I'm still worrying about the type of humor you want from me on this program.
I don't want any humor from you, Ray. I can tell the jokes on this program, and I can tell good ones, too.
All right, then tell me if this is a good one. I say to you, George, I went duck hunting last week, and I didn't shoot a single duck. And you say, why not? And I say, because I couldn't tell the single ones from the married ones.
Ray, do you believe in signs?
Oh, rather.
Well, go find a sign that says exit.
Yes.
George, isn't Ray clever?
Yes, he's brilliant, yes.
You know, if he got a nice coat of tan and then crossed his legs behind his head, he'd look like a pretzel.
Yes, and if he put on a little weight, he'd look like an old shoelace.
Well, aren't we all?
Yes.
Oh, there's Mr. Douglas. Hello, Mr. Douglas.
Hello.
Well, hello, Paul.
Hello, George.
Mr. Douglas, don't take this personally, but I must tell you about a dream of mine. We're riding in the moonlight, the car stops, and you take me in your arms and you hug and kiss me.
When did you dream that, Gracie?
Well, I haven't dreamt it yet. That's my dream for tonight.
I see what you mean. You have all your dreams planned before you go to sleep.
Oh, sure. Otherwise, I might dream about Clark Gable, and that wouldn't be fair to Mr. Douglas.
Well, of course, he could always dream about Carol Lombard.
Oh.
Telegram for Frank Parker.
Well, Mr. Parker won't be here until shortly after he arrives.
Oh, well, here, miss. Will you give it to him when he gets in? Here's a 50-cent tip, kid. Don't forget, everybody, Frank Parker owes me $50.
Don't believe him. He only gave me a nickel.
Screw, son. Gracie. Gracie, you can't open Frank Parker's telegram.
Oh, listen to this. Just read that you're back in New York again, and we're giving you 2 days to come over and settle up last year's hotel bill. Signed the Ritzmore Hotel.
Give me that telegram. I better put it back in the envelope here so that Frank won't know you opened it.
Imagine Frank Parker sneaking out of the Ritzmore.
Gracie, why don't you mind your own business?
Giving him only 2 days. My daddy got 90 days. And I always mind my own business.
Yes, well, I've heard it whispered that you don't.
Well, then that's an idle rumor.
Opening Frank's telegram.
A false report.
Yeah, common gossip.
A busybody.
A busybody? What's a busybody?
Yeah, a hula dancer.
Oh, a hula dancer. Busybody. Oh, yeah. See what you mean. Well, Frank Parker.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, George. How many girls have been asking for me?
Take it easy, Frank. No girls have been asking for you.
But they will.
Frank, here's a telegram for you.
Oh, thanks. Say, that's a smart-looking suit you've got on, George.
Like it, huh?
Yeah, it just goes to show how silly it is to waste a gunny sack by filling it with potatoes.
Never mind, comedian. Just read the telegram.
Let's see. Just heard you're back in New York, and we're giving you 2 days to come back in New York. Those women.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Anything important, Frank?
No, it's just from some dame whom I heard that was in town, and she wants me to go over to the hotel for cocktails.
Well. Well, I wouldn't let it bother you, Frank.
Where does she live, Frank? At the Ritzmore Hotel?
Quiet, Gracie.
I know a man who sneaked out of the Ritzmore Hotel.
Nice weather.
But George, when you'll see the pretty little girl that met me tonight, George. She's come a bit later, and we're going to all meet
Is that? Well, syncopated matter.
Her name is Betty McDermott, and I'll tell you what happened.
Yes?
She was walking down Fifth Avenue looking very bored, and then all of a sudden I came along.
Well, yes, I guess that settled it, Frank.
I knocked her right off her feet.
What were you doing? Riding a bicycle on the sidewalk?
Against the red light.
George, I'll bet the Ritzmore must be an expensive hotel, especially if you pay your bills.
Look, Gracie, some dark night when nobody is looking, something is going to happen to you.
You think I ought to take out insurance?
Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea because years ago my mother took out accident insurance.
Yeah, but you were born just the same.
Frank Parker singing You Go to My Head. That was really beautiful, Frank.
Oh, thanks, George. I just hope that Betty McDermott was listening in. She gets such a kick out of me.
So do you. Hello? Oh, just a minute.
Oh, it's probably Betty.
Gracie, you want it on the phone.
Oh, all right. I wish all those handsome men wouldn't call me up in front of Mr. Douglas. It's embarrassing.
Will you answer the phone?
Oh, hello. This is Gracie Allen speaking, and I can't go out with you tonight because maybe I've got a date with Mr. Douglas.
Yeah, maybe not.
What? You say you've known me longer than Mr. Douglas? Well, that's funny. I don't recognize your voice.
Gracie, will you...
Please, Judge. What? You say you've known me ever since I was a little girl? Well, spell your name, please. Oh, now I remember. Hello, Mother.
Mother? Well, I'm really surprised she could spell her name.
How are you, Mother? Really? Oh, poor Unky. How's Daddy, Mother? He is? Oh, poor Unky. How's my little nephew? Yeah? Oh, poor Unky. How's Unky, Mother?
Look, Gracie, will you break this up?
Mother, will you give Unky this message for me? Here it is. Goodbye.
Well, that's a smart message. Gracie, what's the matter with your uncle?
Well, Judge, you know where Unky's right leg used to be.
Where his right leg used to be?
Yes.
Well, I've got a rough idea.
Well, his left leg is there now.
His left leg is where his right leg used to be?
Yeah, but that's not the worst of it. His right leg is where his left leg used to be.
Look, let me get this straight.
Did Betty McDermott call yet, George?
Not yet.
Well, don't worry, she will.
Who's worrying? So your uncle's left leg is where his right leg used to be?
George, were you ever in a train wreck?
Was I ever in a train wreck? Why, no.
Oh, that's a shame. What are you doing tonight?
Gracie, was your uncle in a train wreck?
Well, not exactly. You see, they called me from the receiving hospital and said, we've got a man here who says he's your uncle. So I said, congratulations, boy or girl. And
Wait a minute.
said...
Just a minute. Look, Gracie, how did your uncle get into this receiving hospital? What happened?
Well, am I telling you what happened or are you asking me?
You're telling me.
Well, all right. Don't act like I'm doing it.
Now, look, let's start from the beginning.
All right. Judge, what's the matter with your uncle?
Oh, he's fine. My uncle. It's your uncle.
Oh, yes. Well, anywho, he's in the receiving hospital, and I was rushing down Fifth Avenue to get the subway when all of a sudden...
You were rushing down Fifth Avenue?
Yes.
The subway is on 7th Avenue.
Yeah, I know, but all the nice stores are on Fifth Avenue.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So I thought I could run for the subway and do my window shopping at the same time.
That's because you were worried about your uncle.
Well, certainly. And then I ran into that dress shop that's owned by those people who came over in the Mayflower.
The Pilgrims.
No, Milgrims.
Oh, Milgrims, yes, you're right.
Yes. And I bought 3 dresses and the cutest hat.
Gracie, what about your uncle?
Oh, Uncle doesn't buy his clothes at Milgrims.
I guess your uncle gets his clothes in sacks.
No, just peanuts.
He gets peanuts in sacks.
Yeah, in those paper
thick sacks. Yes.
I say, George, old boy, this piece of humor is so funny that every time I tell it, I burst. So I'd better unbutton my vest.
Well, all right, Ray. Get started and unbutton your vest.
I say, what kind of babies aren't born with bare feet? And you say all babies are born with bare feet, and I say, oh, no, they're not. Baby tigers aren't born with bare feet.
Ray, you can button your vest.
Oh, righto.
Betty McDermott hasn't called yet,
Not
George?
yet, Frank, not yet.
Well, I hope she gets here before I leave. You know, the kid's had enough tough breaks as it is.
Gracie, your uncle is in the receiving hospital, remember?
Oh, yes. So, I finally got to the hospital and my heart was pounding. So I ran... Well, just listen to it. It's still pounding. So
Quiet, there's somebody at the door. Come in.
Good evening. I'm looking for Miss Gracie Allen.
Gracie Allen. Am I a short girl with pretty
Look,
black hair and baby blue eyes?
mister, what can we do for you?
Well, I dabble in surrealism. My name is Charles Wentworth Spencer Lawrence, artist, critic, and bohemian.
Well, how do? And I'm Flatfoot Fuji with a flawy flaw.
Well, how do?
Miss Allen, I've been admiring your surrealistic paintings in the Julian Levy Gallery.
Well, who hasn't?
Miss Allen, would you mind telling me how you got your inspiration for that painting of yours called The Love Life of an Hors d'oeuvre?
The love life of an hors d'oeuvre?
Oh, that's the one I painted with my daddy's shaving brush.
Well, it looks it.
Oh, but I'll never be able to paint another one like that.
Why not?
Well, on account of my daddy is using an electric razor now.
Well, that's a pity.
I say, George, what do you think of this one? I say, I went to see a play last night, and then you say, on borrowed time. Then I say, no, on borrowed money.
Ray, you can button your vest again.
Oh, rather, yes.
Miss Allen, I'm here to invite you to an exhibition next week at the Boston Art Institute. They're hanging one of my paintings.
Oh, thank you. And you must come to Alcatraz. They're hanging one of my brothers.
Goodbye. Everything happens to me.
Betty McDermott hasn't
No,
been here.
not yet, Frank, not yet.
Well, anywho, George, my uncle's left leg is where his right leg used to be. And his right leg...
Gracie, you know, you remind me of a package of Chesterfield.
You mean because I satisfy?
No, because you never dry up either.
Oh. I don't get it.
You don't. Well, get this. I don't want to hear any more about your uncle.
But I do, George. Gracie's aroused my curiosity.
Oh, Mr. Douglas, have I really?
Well, Paul, you got into this. You get out.
Well, what I meant was, how could your uncle have his right leg where his left leg used to be, and his left leg where his right leg used to be?
Mr. Douglas, did you ever put your pants on backwards?
That was beautiful, Ray, beautiful. Your violinist has such expression.
Oh, he can't help that expression, George. He's scared to death of his wife.
I thought you'd understand. And now Gracie will sing When a Principal Fella Meets a Cinderella. Sing it, Gracie.
Oh, wait a minute. George, do you think Mr. Douglas would be interested in a little N-E-K-K-I-N-G?
N-E-K-K-I-N-G? That's wrong.
I know, but it's lots of fun. Wait a minute. George, did I tell you how smart I am? I left my umbrella on the streetcar this morning.
And that proves you're smart.
Sure, it wasn't raining. Wait a minute. George, did you hear about Joe Gordon's twin brother winning the ball game yesterday for the Yankees?
Joe Gordon has a twin brother?
That's what it said in the paper. Gordon's double wins ball game.
Let's say the song. That was very nice. You've got a sweet little voice, and I'm sure everybody enjoyed it as much as I did.
Well, I think so. I've even got a prettier voice than that famous opera singer, Johnny Weissmuller.
Johnny Weissmuller?
Yes.
He's an opera singer?
Well, sure. The paper says he's a great diver.
Yes, diver. He probably goes swimming in lily ponds.
Yeah. Oh, that's very funny, George.
That's really my own stuff.
It's as funny as laundry hanging out in the line.
Yeah, laundry hanging out in the line.
Yeah, it's a washout.
Yeah. Well, never mind.
Mr. Douglas, did I tell you about my granddaddy?
Gracie, Paul is
Did I
gonna...
tell you that my granddaddy had an emergency operation?
Gracie, do you always have to do all the talking?
Well, no.
Good. Go ahead, Paul.
Some people like to sew.
Gracie, Paul.
Some people like to read books.
Look.
Some people like to play bridge.
But you like to talk.
How'd you know?
Paul is trying to tell me something, and you keep on talking.
What did you say, George?
I said you keep on talking.
Oh, I'll be glad to. Did you know that my granddaddy had an emergency operation?
Emergency, yes. His left leg is on his right leg. Used to be in his right leg. What are they doing? Removing his appendix?
No. They removed his whiskers from his zipper.
They removed his whiskers from his zipper?
Yes. He put on a leather jacket and couldn't get it off.
Well, the whiskers got caught in the zipper.
Yes.
That must have been a dangerous operation.
Oh, it was. They had to put the instruments down his throat and make the incision from the inside.
Well, why?
Well, if they made it from the outside, they'd ruin his leather jacket.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Betty McDermott isn't here yet.
No, Frank, she's not here yet.
Well, I'll bet some insignificant little thing must be keeping her away.
Ah, Frank, you're just self-conscious.
Quiet!
Betty McDermott.
Quiet! Gracie, this goes for you and everybody else on this program. For 10 minutes, Paul Douglas has been trying to tell me something, and he's going to finish it. And I don't want to hear one sound out of anybody.
Oh, you won't hear a sound out of me.
Good.
I'm all through talking.
Good. Go ahead, Paul.
As I was saying...
And not a sound out of anybody else.
Don't tell me.
Some people never know when they're through talking.
Go ahead, Paul.
After you finish saying something,
Gracie.
as soon as you keep
Gracie.
on speaking, because a lot of people know when you're
Look,
talking.
I'm going to give you a little hint. Shut up.
You mean be quiet, huh?
Yeah. Keep your mouth closed.
Don't say a word, huh?
No.
Keep still?
Yes.
Like this?
Yeah, like that. Now, go ahead, Paul.
The reason...
For how long?
Look. Everybody in there. Oh, come in.
Where's Frank Parker? Oh, there you are, Mr. Parker. I'm Mary Kelly. Remember? You had a date with my sister last week, but she wouldn't show up, so you took me out instead.
Hello, Mary.
Mary? She's big enough to be the Queen Mary.
Now listen, George, you've got to help me out of this jam. I've got to get rid of her because Betty will be here any minute.
Well, what's Miss Kelly doing here this week?
Well, you know how it is, George. She's probably infatuated.
I'm infatuated. Oh, don't worry, Miss Kelly. You can reduce.
Frank, you got into this jam and you get out.
Well, Miss Kelly, I hate to dash your hopes this way, but I didn't ask you to come up here tonight.
No, but Betty McDermott did.
Betty McDermott?
Yes, she sent me to keep her date with you.
Well, believe me, she's got some nerve.
No, it isn't. She's paying me.
That's a nice TL for you, Frank.
Frank, if they paid you to go out with Miss Kelly, you'd be living in the fat of the land.
Gracie, listen to me. You shouldn't say that. All Miss Kelly needs is just a little exercise.
Exercise? What kind of exercise? Just push yourself away from the dining room table 3 times a day.
Look, Paul started...
Now, just a minute. I came up here to go out with Frank Parker, and I'm getting a headache. Yeah, I know, and he's pretty, too.
Frank and his silly dates.
Oh, yeah? Well, you can kid me if you want, but I bet the girls on the coast will be glad when I get back to Hollywood.
Oh, sure. So will the girls in New York.
Now, look, I've had enough of this.
I say, George, is this one any better?
I don't think so, Ray.
Well, then how about this one? I say, did you know they have a nightclub in New York for little babies? Then you say, a nightclub for little babies, and I say yes to the Thought Club.
Ray, you better hurry or you'll miss them.
Oh, righto.
Miss Kelly, why don't you have Frank take you to the El Morocco?
I don't think we'd be able to get in there. Oh, sure you would, Miss Kelly. All you have to do is turn sideways.
Say, Paul, what were you saying about Chesterfield?
Well...
On second thought, I don't want to go dancing anyway. I just came from a dinner dance, and I'm too danced out. Oh, you are not, Miss Kelly. You're just pleasingly plump.
Say goodnight to everybody.
Oh, good night. But if I'm not too inquisitive, Mr. Douglas, are you going to drive me home?
I'm sorry, Gracie, but I haven't got a car.
Gracie, I've got a car.
Oh, that's awfully sweet of you, George. Are you sure you don't mind walking?
Good night, all.